So you are in the library room of the palace. You've been introduced to the matriarch and her husband, who are the mother and father-in-laws of Vinshenzo.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. When I saw Ristel, I'm like, wasn't that his brother? But that was Ristel the second or something, right?
Yeah.
Junior.
The second just sounds so much better than Junior.
It does.
Junior.
Ristel June. I could see Vin like saying that just to piss him off.
Hell yeah.
I know we didn't have much time, or we had plenty of time to IC. Could I say that before we entered, Nephis would have taken off his armor and like shit and worn his fine clothing, the robes that he got. Nancon.
That is actually a really good point. I will actually revert us back in time to when Vin made statements to each of you guys, and we'll kind of take it from there, and we'll give you guys the opportunity, because after that you're whisked to the whole spot. So if you guys want to either respond to this shit or whatever, or do whatever, or prepare yourselves, however, this is your opportunity to do so, and then there's no mystery as to where you're going.
Big ups to Carlos and Khutula for responding to me.
Hell yeah. So I got a question. Do we have some place where we can store like our excess gear so we're not just like bumbling into their library with like a huge backpack of shit?
So the answer to that question, essentially I fast forward in time. So as you guys, this is going to be fun. So when you guys get into the palace, like one of the servant who's leading you around states that you guys are having guest quarters prepared. So you'll have your own like rooms. They're preparing like bedrooms for you to stay here. You get your own storage and everything in that spot, and you'll have a key. Like, it's a very, very accommodating place.
Cool. So if we had time to go there, yeah, Carlos at least would drop off all of his excess shit in the room, and probably his armor too.
I will state you do not have that opportunity. The timeline actively will be as follows for that, except for like minor things, but it's just because like they really are like, no, you're coming, you're being presented, right? You have arrived you are being introduced to the people who actually own this place, you know?
Do we have
who's staying in your house?
Are there servants that would like take our backpacks then and luggage?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do minor things like that. I'm saying like there's no time for a 5-minute potty break, but if you want to like throw your backpack at Manuel, you can do that.
Here, take this. Don't steal any of them. I know what's in there.
Think of it as a very literal railroad, just because I've already like put 2 hours of effort into the morning, and holy fucking shit, please just please help.
Cool. Yeah, but I have my backpacks into my room.
Cool. Shit like that.
I do not change into my fine clothing.
Nephis is just in rags.
I don't think he's in
blue rags. Navy blue.
You would have known the time frame leaving the forge, isn't it? Like just like a day.
A day and a bit, yeah.
So, I mean, you knew where you were going. You can wear fine clothes, probably.
Hell yeah!
I mean, I'm always wearing my fine clothes.
There's absolutely, if you want to be in a specific outfit because you're aware of where you're going, that's fine to be saying I'm wearing this.
Yeah.
If it's something that you feel as though you would be traveling, like stay true to your character. If you feel as though you need to be traveling in specific attire and then change into the appropriate clothes
now.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to you to state how you are or how you wish to be.
I bought everyone fine clothes in Nancon, remember?
Nancon.
Copy. I'll roll with it that he's not wearing them at this moment.
That's totally okay.
That sounds like Nephis to me.
Isaac, how are you presenting yourself? Or what are you up to at this moment in time? How are you, yeah, let's hear from you.
Just gonna do the same as normal.
As is. Got it.
Deadly.
What is normal?
Are you in, like, your armor?
And I haven't taken it off while we were since we traveled, so yeah.
Just double check. Just getting the visual image in my head.
Isaac sleeps in his armor.
Just recognizing how sweaty you are right now.
Damn.
A layer of dead skin stuck to the inside.
He
Gross.
bathes in the armor.
Oh,
At no point in time is this man not prepared for battle. Ew. Okay, anyways. Khutula, what's going on with you? Is there anything you'd like to pass on, throw away? I don't know. What state are you in? Did you prepare your fancy clothes? Or are you traveling in your normal attire?
Her spiffy travel wear,
Do you have...
as I have it written in my equipment. Yeah, I bought it. Like,
Oh, cool.
remember? Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I do
It was-
a lot of things.
It was before we like left whatchamaffuck, the place that Vin owns now. I forgot the name. I'm sorry.
A long time
He's the
ago.
Baron.
In a place... Oh, okay. In the capital city of Nancon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I commissioned some nice travel wear.
Spiffy travel attire. Okay,
Yes.
that's really cool. Kudos.
So
to
she
you.
feels presentable in that.
Nephis, you're as per usual, and Vinshenzo, you're yourself.
I have my glamour weave that is colored white now, with white lotus petals emanating from it and trailing from it.
Deadly. All right. Just need to, now that I understand. Holy shit. We have the visual image of everybody. Carlos, what are you doing? Can't remember if I asked you or not.
Yeah, you did. I just gave my backpack to a servant to bring to my quarters, and pretty much as is.
Okay. I
And my-
remembered the backpack part. I just couldn't remember if you
Yeah,
had it.
fine clothes. He has his. He'd have a studded leather over it, but it's like masterwork, so it looks really nice.
You look nice, but you're traveling.
Yeah, I look like I could. Yeah.
Deadly. Cool. All right. So yeah, then you all follow the minecart track to the spot where you come into a library, and there's the very important people sitting in front of you who are mom and dad-in-law, Vinshenzo, also the ruler of this place, and her husband.
Hell yeah.
Generally, it would be up to you as the person who is entering to make a statement, and I will allow you.
Is
Yeah,
it
if
as
you-
if it is you put what you posted?
Yeah.
I would correct the servant, and I would say Baron Vinshenzo of the Nissian Vagabonds, and I would gesture to the rest of the party behind me.
Carlos would
And then I
bow
would
with a
kneel.
flourish of his hat.
And then I would
You're
kneel.
gonna get a raised eyebrow and nothing more, but but Ristel smiles. He's got a big smile on his face. He thinks it's cute.
Damn.
I kneel before the matriarch.
She
Nephis looks
go
at Vin and copies his stance of kneeling.
Hell yeah.
Khutula looks back and forth between them and then just kind of goes like, oh shit,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Carlos
That's
should,
the same.
yeah, he'd bow with a flourish of his hat and transition into a kneel in one motion.
very flourishing.
Yes, fancy.
There's a moment of palpable pause as Lady Andril stands and she gently puts herself among you, sort of pacing around and inspecting. She makes no noise as she sort of almost glides across the floor. And she finishes her little tour of your party in front of Vinshenzo. And she reaches down with a single finger outstretched and gently lifts up his chin in a motion for him to rise.
I rise, remaining silent.
Ooh. She says, you've done something that I wasn't quite sure you'd ever really do, my son. And she says, you've truly impressed me.
Oh,
You went out to be a traveling musician and find yourself on your adventure, and you've come back a baron with land and title. You've brought more power to the House Cairona. And for that, I congratulate you.
Vinshenzo nods, maintaining eyes with her.
She's gonna do a once around of all the other members of the party.
I would
I
introduce
don't know.
them, maybe. I don't know.
Well, no, she's not. She's kind of like moved past you and she's looking around. She's doing her own thing. And she's gonna lock eyes with Carlos. And she's gonna like tilt her nose down into a little bit more of an aggressively inquisitive gesture. She's trying to figure out what exactly you are. And then she continues to like move past whoever else is there. And then she goes back to her seat and sits down. And she says, Vinshenzo, you and your wife will dine with me tonight. Apart from that, you may stay as long as you wish. And then she picks up a book and then resumes reading.
My lady, would you care to be introduced to each of your fabulous guests?
She looks up at you and she says, there's time for that later at dinner. I'm sure your wife will be there. And she would enjoy to meet them as well. A less formal occasion, more appropriate for conversation and greeting.
Very well. Certainly.
Besides, she says, you might desire your company to be present in their best attire.
Certainly, Lady Andrel.
And she goes back to reading.
We will not disturb you a moment longer. And I would start trying to like usher everybody out of there.
Okay, well, you gotta. The servant follows you out. He kind of bows his head and everything as he closes the door, and he announces that that rooms have been prepared for you in the guest wing. And if any of you need to be tended to, their staff is available to do so.
Vinshenzo takes a minute to catch his breath a little bit.
Nice family.
are you okay, Vin? You look more nervous than when we faced down that vampire.
Yes, being in front of the good lady is always a bit nerve-wracking, certainly.
She definitely holds herself in a very particular way.
Yes, quite aloof at times, but she is the matriarch after all. I've heard rumors of people being sentenced to death in her presence. So, be on your best behavior.
For what offenses?
Vinshenzo shrugs.
That is not exactly reassuring.
We have done her a great service, but in Nancon, so I would not worry about it too much, Mr. Carlos.
Well, she did seem a little perplexed by me, so I guess we will see.
You're quite perplexing, Carlos.
And Nephis raises his eyebrow, looking down at you.
Well, I would like to argue, but he kind of shrugs.
Yes, we must. Oh my god.
What did you fucking do?
I ate
It's weird
a spicy chip and then I breathed through my nose.
Fucking retard.
I can't
I'm
take
very
hot
curious.
chip. Yes, Mr. Carlos. Once after we have dinner with Miss the good lady, we should see about getting you in front of the Helvani family. My father could assist with your condition. I'm almost certain of it.
Well, that would be most welcome. But if, well, you did say, Drows are particularly adept at magic, so perhaps they could do more.
Yes. The Cairona
Deadly.
family isn't as keen on such things as my blood family, my blood family.
So yeah, you have access to, you have time now and access to the facilities of the House Cairona, preparing for supper and all that. If you want to explore around, see what there is, or if you just want to, I don't know, if you have anything you need to do. If you want to store your stuff, grab shit, do whatever, you have like the opportunity to do that.
For the in preparation for the dinner.
In preparation for the dinner, or if you have other, I don't know, other things that you want to do, like pack shit into rooms. I'm giving you like I'm saying this is the time the characters have to sort of get themselves settled into their place.
How much time do we have?
About 4 hours.
Oh, hell yeah. Feel free to wander about the grounds and whatnot. It is a fantastic estate, certainly.
I wouldn't want to get lost in here. It's eerie.
Yes, do not go outside the walls, Mr. Nephis.
Why is that?
Well, you should inform someone if you do. And inform me, actually. And I will arrange for you to have an escort. As I said coming in, some of the common drow are a bit uncivilized at times, shall I say.
Even within the city?
I don't know. It's been however long since I've left.
Oh fuck.
I don't know.
Yeah, there are. So Drow society still has that level of ruthlessness and just kind of sort of innate not very nice people sometimes. There is higher crime rate. There's also a lot of people who will just take advantage of the fact that you're new around here. Slavery does exist.
You're new and you can't see.
Yeah, the lights.
How barbaric.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's 100% chance, but it is definitely higher. The main cities, Vinshenzo, this is information that I can give to you to give out freely. But the more densely populated urban centers in the Underdark are a little bit more lawfully controlled. So even though they are, they still incorporate darker aspects of Drow society, it's still a fairly well regulated and safe place to live. But as you get farther out, where more traditional clans exist, that's when you're a lot less secure.
I'm sure
More
you would all
rural
be
areas.
fine wandering about the city, but at least for my sake, inform me if you intend to leave the grounds.
I'll stay nearby. We're here to fix Carlos.
Carlos rolls his eyes.
And hopefully broker some kind of solution to this problem that's been following Carlos around, the blasted trade company.
Indeed, they have been a thorn on my side for a long time. Now that they're in business with the vampires, I feel like their influence will only grow if the vampires aren't taken out.
Yes. I have a plan about the vampires.
Wow. Fully formed, I hope.
Yes.
What would you like to share it?
No.
Okay. Isaac
Vin
Khutula.
pats Carlos on the back and says, "Trust me, Mr. Carlos."
Yes, I have to.
Well, that's all fine and dandy, but I'm gonna go take a nap. Tula goes to take a nap in her cozy room that was prepared for her.
Okay. Your guest room, quote unquote, is basically a small apartment.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Including like bath chambers and all sorts of stuff. There is hot running water. It's
Hell yeah.
very nice.
Carlos freshens up.
You have basically it's a three and a half apartment. So you got your front sitting room, you have a rear sort of servant's room essentially, and then there's your room, and then there's like a bath closet washer. You got like a tub and a place to do your stuff.
Hell yeah. Vin goes to his room.
Yeah, you have your own room. You're not in the same wing as theirs. You
I
haven't
would
been there for a
inform
while,
the,
but it's
the
exactly
party
how
where
you
my
left it.
room is.
Okay.
It is surreal to see my own bed and personal belongings after so long.
Fuck yeah. Your wife's not around. She's at work right now. Quite literally. She's
the
conducting training.
breadwinner.
Yeah, she's doing her job. But she
Hell yeah.
is supposed to be back in time to be ready for supper.
I guess I would just like drop off most of my shit. apart from like small artifacts and essentials. Ugh. And
Okay.
I would leave the I don't know. Does she have a desk at the house or whatever? I don't know.
Your wife does have an office, yes.
Okay.
I do actually have a general blueprint of this entire like place.
Let's see it.
Oh no, it's not like a 1-to-1. It's like I'm using it as a very accurate but not direct reference.
Yeah. I don't care. I want to see it.
Yeah, okay. Let me just pull it. It's on my iPad. It's on my tablet.
Oh, if it's
cool.
like a bitch to like bring up.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Give me a sec.
Brisket iPad.
I did. I'm an old man with my iPad. Okay.
I would leave
Fuck,
the spell shard.
Okay.
Well, I would have kept the letters as well. The spell shard was in case. Okay, hold on. Oh, I leave all the fucking. I tied the letters together with like a piece of twine, like in a bundle, and then I leave it on her desk or somewhere where she'll find it. And then I write another note on top of it that says, hardly a day went by when I wasn't thinking of you, Vinshenzo.
Oh. Okay.
And then I leave
So
the
I'll
room.
give you the kind of blueprint that I'm working off of. And it's don't expect for me to like say, oh yeah, this is where it is, and it to not be where it is. But I'll give you a layout based off of what I'm working on.
I just want to see what's inside your mind.
Yeah. I'll put it in. No, I'll just put it in Vagabond. Vagabonds.
Yeah.
I guess I can put it in maps because that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's easy reference.
Yeah.
Ground floor, second story, third story. Okay.
Oh my god.
So for visual, like if you're thinking of furniture and what it looks like, the building you're in is as per the big ass picture that I posted in the dialogue. Like that is what I'm imagining to be this towering, spiky, amazing Gothic palace. Except it's underground. And you can, well, there is a skyline, but the skyline's like the entrance of the cavern. Anyways, you have this nice big thing, and there's like the spires of the palace are reaching up and connecting to stalactites that are coming down from the ceiling. Like it's really fucking cool. And for the blueprint referencing the maps, I'm using that as essentially like that is the front block, but the rooms themselves would be larger or named differently. But that's the, sort of the this is the blueprint that I'm working off of. This is what I'm looking at. Like the Lunar Ballroom, that is the outlaw. I like that name. The Lunar Ballroom is really cool too. And it's just like really big, and it's in the center of the entire palace. This big ballroom.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What floor is my room on?
You are in the second floor. So you guys met on the first floor. That's where the lady Andro was. She was in the first floor in one of the libraries. The second story is for the family quarters. The third story is the guest and the staterooms. So you would have sort of 3.5. You'd have your bedroom. You'd have like your 2 extra rooms, and then a bathroom. And there's one for each of you.
Hell yeah.
So, and then there's like little common areas for you to sit in, and it's big. It's a massive palace. So
Hell
that's
yeah. My family's done well for themselves.
well, you're adopted, not adopted, but you're married in family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I will state that the architecture of the city that you guys have seen so far follows on that level of scale, or similar levels of scale, where it's big buildings carved into the rock, built into rock features and stuff like that. So this is a very impressive place.
Hell
Drow and other elves live for a really long time, and that kind of reflects in their architecture because they can afford to take the time to build big and build impressive.
yeah. Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
Clearing my
Anyway,
throat a million times.
that's kind of the how I'm imagining this estate and how I'm working on through the design and such. If that helps anybody at
like
all, and
it.
that's kind of
That
the
does help
visual
me
imagining.
visualize like the scale of it at least.
Yeah. So Vin, you and your wife would have like sort of the same sort of thing. You would have like a suite of of rooms in an apartment style. And then she would have her own office that's separate from your like rooms because it's her, her office. And then you don't really have that because you're essentially like you're the wife.
Yes.
So you're too busy doing things to need an office.
Yeah.
Anyways, in a loving way, of course.
Yeah. I like
So
it.
there you go. That's the palace. Welcome. Hello everybody. You have your rooms, you have your stuff. Supper's at 7. You have undeterminate amount of time. Whatever you want to do. You can go explore the grounds, you can do whatever. You've been given access. I will state that if you start moving into compartments that are not compartments in terms of like areas of the ground, that is not specifically like the guest and public area, like there is a person who's like politely trailing behind you, and if you question their purpose, they're there to just make sure you don't get lost.
I explore the grounds.
Yeah, you got free reign. This is your home, but
I
for
follow
the
Vin.
unfamiliar guests.
Ah, hello, Mr. Nephis.
Well met.
Did you find
place
your
is
quarters
fantastic.
okay?
Yeah, I was shown the way. Put on these, and he spins around in his formal robes that are navy navy blue with yellow fish embroidered.
Ah, very flashy.
Our captain.
Aye.
It suits you quite well.
Feels loose. Snag on things. Doesn't matter much here, though.
I'm hoping you weren't thinking of camping out again.
No. Take too long to get back out and get in, and we're just here to meet face and, like I said earlier, Carlos.
Sleeping on a nice mattress would probably do your back some good, Mr. Nephis.
Perhaps. Don't want to get used to it.
Yes. And you'd be more like me.
Perhaps.
I don't want him to say that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
He's black.
Then you'd be black. Hell yeah.
So, does this place have some sort of performance room? Something where you could play?
The lunar ballroom. There's also a piano room.
Oh, I must play the piano. Yes,
Yeah, good performance would be nice.
The lunar ballroom. Or is that the piano room, or is
No, like there's a reference the map.
Maybe there's more
Like,
than one piano.
Yeah, they are nice things, and this is a place full of nice things. As quirky as that sounds, like you are living the inheritance of a very powerful dynasty, which is nice. But they do have the ability to have several piano rooms. Like there's a drawing room, there's a sewing room, there's a piano room. Like there's a few different places for you to just be there and practice something. And the piano room, like the piano is positioned in such a way that the acoustics are most benefited in the chamber, and like there's places for people to sit in almost like a casual ring. And there's like a small table that you can place your goblet or your glass or your book or your whatever it is that you need while you're. So
I lead Nephis
a lovely little room.
to the music room, the piano room.
Yeah. Well, it's exactly as you describe, and there's this lovely little piano. And it's not like a grand piano. It's one of those nice little, like the quieter, gentler model. Like the smaller, nice pianos. Anyways.
A baby grand?
I guess. I know grand pianos are like the coolest thing in the world, and that's about all I know about pianos. Also, there's ones that are electric, so I'm trying my best. I really am, but it's like the small ones.
There's
that
electric
are still
pianos
really nice.
in this world?
No,
Damn.
I'm just out of character as a human being.
Baby grand
piano.
pianos are just like smaller grand pianos.
Okay,
so
well,
you don't need
that's what
as
it
much
is then.
room for them.
Yeah, it's a baby grand then. That's what I was thinking of. It looks like a grand, but it's small. It makes sense that it's a baby grand.
Yeah.
I thought
How
it was
tall
going
is
to be
the
some
ceiling?
weird Italian name. It's 20 feet high.
Ooh, nice and big.
Actually, let me just double check that. Sorry, 10 feet high.
It's
No.
a Steinway.
Actually, you know what? These guys have unlimited fucking space. It's 20 feet high.
Oh.
Woohoo!
Fucking big.
That's awesome.
Ooh.
They are big. 20 feet. I just realized looking at my ceiling that 10 feet is not very much.
Yeah,
No, it's like a good 20 feet high ceiling.
and they're all tall.
Yeah. And it's like a beautiful vaulted ceiling, too.
I'm tall. I don't know if the
Yeah,
rest of the family is.
The royal you.
Yeah, but they don't have my genes. I married into this family. I don't know if the Caironias are tall.
They do now.
They're average size.
They're
I mean, Lady
frickin-
Cairona is tall, but Ristel is small. Or not small, but he's like shorter than her.
So their kids are
Consequently,
medium. That
yeah,
makes sense.
Consequently, the kids have varying
I'm sorry.
average to tall. Look, we're gonna discuss it. We fucking discussed it.
Are there any like people in the music room?
No, it's vacant.
Ah.
How romantic. Vin would kind of saunter around the piano for a few minutes, like just kind of maybe not on edge, but just kind of uneasy playing with not a huge audience.
Nephis would walk up to the piano with crossed arms looking at you play.
I don't know if it matters or not, Finn, but this is like a piano that I imagine that maybe like it's sort of like the casual piano. You know what I mean? It's like the piano in the house that the family uses. Like you're not gonna go. Well, you could go into the ballroom, and, and sit there and play and practice and do whatever, or you could use this piano. That's this kind of piano.
Then I would have led Nephis into the ballroom.
Okay.
Oh.
Sorry, that's what I was.
Are there
That's the
people
intent
there?
of the piano that I was trying to. Yes, there are people there. There are like staff that are just there, and then there's one watchman who's there. He's dressed in the livery of the house militia, but he's not armed. He's just there in armor.
So wait, did we not see the lunar ballroom?
Yes,
No?
this is the lunar ballroom,
Oh,
and I'm addressing the question of audience. There are a few staff that are maintaining the room, and they're setting some side tables with different ornaments and such. They're preparing it for population. Essentially regular, just sort of attendance as you would remember it to be. The lunar ballroom is called the lunar ballroom because when you look up at the ceiling, and this is a very large ballroom. Exact dimensions to be determined. Anyways, you look up at the ceiling and it looks like you are looking at the stars. The ceiling is a dome, or an inverse dome, I guess, of something called webstone, which is a beautiful polished obsidian that is infused with spider webs to create a pattern that looks like starlight.
And it gives off light?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So it's called the lunar ballroom because it really does look like you're in the ballroom at night, like in a ballroom at night.
Hell yeah, it's like the Rolls-Royce ceiling thing. We dripping out here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I would talk to a servant and say, fetch alert the house that I intend to play.
He says, at once, of course, at once.
At once, sir.
And he goes off.
It feels so insane to be like, oh yes, go fetch me.
Oh right, I belong.
work for me,
here.
asshole.
This is where I'm from.
Myself,
This
like
is
it just
my
feels
home.
so fucked up.
Oh yeah, it's hard to do. Oh fucking hell. Yeah. So he goes. And you know from experience, because you live here, and I can just give you these details freely. It's fun. Wow, this is refreshing. We should do this more. You know from experience that if there are any family members on the premises, they usually come down if they have nothing better.
Hell yeah.
It's an opportunity for them to socialize with one another, as the grounds in the house are quite vast. It does take time for them to relocate. Well, first the message to be delivered, and then them to stop what they're doing and come over. So you're aware that is gonna have some time lag, but it is essentially a point of socialization for the Cairona house to come in. If you have nothing better to do, you come listen to some nice music and speak with someone. And other members of house staff use that opportunity as well to sort of speak to their betters about whatever, like less important matters.
Hell yeah.
And because this is a familiar custom, another servant who overheard this goes to turn on or to activate. There's some alternative light sources that are on the walls, and as he engages them, they begin to glow softly to bring up the ballroom to a little bit more of an appropriate daytime light for Drow, that is. So it's a little bit less gloomy.
Okay.
So that being said, it does take 15-20 minutes before someone saunters down and walks in.
During that time,
yes.
Nephis would say to Vin, there's been this tune I've been stuck in my head. Maybe not for this performance, but I would like to actually consult you about it.
Certainly.
Maybe a song we can play for the vagabonds.
Yes. This excites me, Mr. Nephis. that you've grown the musical itch.
Certainly, your performances have been quite nice to listen to.
Hell yeah.
And he sits and waits.
It is a bit relieving that along the way I was able to lift at least your spirits.
I'm sure the others as well.
Finn nods.
So a few minutes into, just sort of after you've sent the word out, about 10, let's say 10 minutes, your brother-in-law, Talon, comes
Oh, yeah.
down. And I clicked on the wrong pinned message.
I think it's also pinned in Vagabond.
Vagabond.
I don't think it's this one. No, it's not that one. Anyways, yeah, he comes down and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he does exactly that. No, he doesn't. But he comes in and he. Are you playing at this point, or are you waiting for somebody to show up to play?
I would wait for an audience to gather. I'm that egotistical at this point.
Okay. There
What's
it
the
is.
point of playing if no one's around to hear?
Okay. I remember who he is. Sorry, I was mixing him up with Ristel because I was trying to find the message.
Mr. Nephis, this is another brother-in-law of mine.
So he kind of keeps. So he enters from one of the other doors, and he doesn't get too close. He comes in and he's polite and he nods and he begins to sort of orbit slowly in the direction of the piano, but not really taking his, not really rushing over to say hello. He's just
Nephis
kind of
squints at him.
orbiting in slowly.
I would gesture him to me and by extension Nephis. Come, Talon. One of my traveling companions.
He squints at Vinshenzo and hesitates momentarily, and then begins to drift over, and he plants himself still a respectable distance away. He's not right close, but he still comes close enough to be part of a conversation. He gives you both a little bit of room. And he nods at Nephis politely and says, Vinshenzo, it's good to see you again.
Yes. It's good to be back.
I heard you're going to be playing piano. Are you going to play something new?
Of course. I've come up with a few different tunes since I left home.
He nods his head and he looks back at Nephis again and then looks at Vinshenzo. And who's this?
Nephis extends his hand and he says, Captain Stayonoga of Tribe Wavenspear, now the Nicean Vagabonds. And he looks over to Vin and nods.
Vin grins.
The guy shakes your hand back, or returns the handshake. I think that's how you say it.
Yes.
He returns the handshake and he says, "Well met."
Well met.
I am Talon Cairona. I'm a member of House Cairona, part of the militia here. And he awkwardly stands as close to hands in pockets, like posture as possible, but he has no pockets to put his hands in. He's just kind of standing there. and if an awkward silence is permitted, he drifts sort of silently for one
Vin would
awkward
not
silence.
allow an
Okay, perfect.
awkward silence.
Good.
Vin says, "Yes, Mr. Nephis. If it wasn't for excuse me, if it wasn't for Mr. Nephis, the group I was traveling with, as well as myself, would have been hopelessly lost many times."
Aye. I'm able to navigate the land as well as sea. And he grins.
Yeah.
Talon actually sort of takes a step closer and he says, "You have you spent much time traveling the wilderness?"
With our lot? Yeah. You could say that.
Yes, him and Mr. Isaac Stormwind. If it weren't for them, both of them, we would have probably never found our way back here without hiring on some sort of guide or something.
Okay. So you do pique Talon's interest, and he intends to ask just questions about your wilderness skills and ask you how you would do things. But it's more of it's going to take time. So I'm just going to say he asks you questions about the wilderness until such a time as Carlos comes in.
It is truly fascinating that a man can become so adept in knowledge and with what short years they have to live.
Nah. I'm not an ordinary man. My tribe is more in tune with nature than civilized folk.
Indeed.
Talon shakes his head and says, "Dear brother, it's because the overworld, it's safe compared to the world we have down here. They can afford to be intrepid explorers, but when you explore the Underdark as I have, it's not so forgiving a place."
Oh.
Certainly, I'm not trying to discount your accomplishments, Talon.
I wish someday to explore the overworld as you do. You've sparked my interest.
Vinshenzo has inspired him.
But I do not know how to survive up there.
Bardic inspiration.
It's quite easy. Just a matter of knowing where food is.
And then, again, this is when he starts asking you a series of...
Nephis would tell him.
If permitted. Yeah, that's he's going to, go down that avenue of, oh, okay. How do you hunt? All those... So...
He would inquiry back also... any question that he brought up, he would ask the same about the Underdark.
Yeah. So, Vin, I'm gonna ask if there's anything else you want to say while in the presence of just Nephis and your brother-in-law before Carlos kind of shows up.
Yes.
He has this amount. He would be there in that amount of time.
Once again, I would try to bolster the image of Nephis in front of family members and say, yes, the one night I had to spend on my own without Mr. Nephis was quite miserable. I do not know how to light a fire and other such things.
Yeah, and that is well received. It's a positive exchange, and as well, Nephis, and I guess Vin as well, because you're part of the conversation. In any matters pertaining to sort of the wilder country of the Underdark. Say a +2 to your survival, your history, or your anything else pertaining to just sort of surviving in the wilds of the Underdark.
Oh, excellent.
Just because he gives you some helpful tidbits, but not enough to be a full primer.
Wait, Nephis
But
just
good
got
enough.
+2 to survival? Hell yeah.
No. Specifically in the Underdark.
Oh.
Like for the
Yeah.
next little bit. Because he doesn't have his favorite terrain or anything. So
That's
I think that's
still
the best
pretty
I can do.
fucking good.
Yeah. Not permanent, but just for the next little next while you're here in the next little bit.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So Carlos, you come wandering into the Lunar Ballroom in all of its magnificence, and you see near a grand piano is Vinshenzo and another Drow and Nephis, looking all spiffy and prim and proper,
Hell.
quite dashing.
Quite dashing.
Not in a weird way. He's good looking.
Take a few moments to enjoy the splendor of the ballroom. It's something that Carlos, while he's been in ballrooms before, he'd probably never seen one like this before that imitates the lunar skylight, or however you phrased it before.
Yes.
So there would be probably about a minute or so before he would start moving over to Vin, unless Vin interrupted his observations.
Sorry.
Vin would probably go up to Carlos and tell him like stupid facts about the wallpaper and stuff.
Oh yes, very, it looks very expensive in here.
It's very expensive.
Certainly.
Carlos, you must try the wallpaper. The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Carlos is gonna start ripping wallpaper off now. I see there's another well-dressed Drow present. Is this another one of your brothers-in-law?
Yes, this is Talon Cairona. He's the second youngest, I believe,
I see.
of the children.
Oh,
He seems to be getting on well enough with Nephis. I find that surprising.
my headset just shit its pants. I'm really sorry. I lost the last minute of conversation.
It was just
Carlos
Vin and I
was observing the room and taking it all
Okay.
in its splendor, and Vin walked up to him and would have just small talked about stupid facts about the mansion and stuff.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything.
yeah. And then Carlos brought up Vin's brother-in-law and asked him about him, and
Yeah.
then he remarked that him and Nephis were getting along, which Carlos would find a little surprising. And that's when you came back.
Yes, they have some common interests, it seems. Mr. Nephis is a bit of a survivalist, I guess you'd say, and Talon seems quite fond of that.
That would be an apt description. Could certainly make our journey easier.
Yes. I would walk Carlos up to Talon
Carlos would follow.
and introduce him as Mr.
Awesome.
Carlos.
It's Mr. Carlos. Okay.
Wouldn't it be more
That's what
appropriate to
raises
be introduced as a Duke Carlos Santiago?
Dookie.
This is Duke Carlos.
So Talon at the introduction of a new person or a new person, yeah, he just kind of shuts right up.
Ooh.
But more in one of those kind of a blustered oh, new person. He's very well, Vin, you're aware that he's not exactly the most social person.
Yeah. I'm aware of that now, yes.
Talon, it's great to make your acquaintance. I believe we met a different one of Vin's brothers-in-law Who was it?
Bristol the Second.
Yes, Bristol the Second. We met him up further up in the mountains.
He nods his head and says, "Yes, yes, it was quiet here for a while when he was gone. He should be back soon."
Yes, Talon, you can ease up a bit. These are friends of mine. You can relax in their company. It's fine.
He nods his head and sort of kind of looks around, and then he's still a little bit quiet. He's just, it's not like he's going to be quiet forever. He's just kind of like, you know, the new person. He's trying to get a read of the new person.
I saw you and Mr. Nephis seemed to have a spirited discussion. I don't want to interrupt that. You guys can continue if you want.
Hell yeah.
Well, Talon's going to look back at Nephis and continue on. It's not a closed conversation, I will state. It's just, yeah.
So we've done like an hour of like Vinshenzo family and backstory stuff.
Look, I gave you guys like free reign, open door. The only people who want to do stuff is you guys. I'm just moving with the flow here, and this is something that you guys are interested in doing.
If you want to like speed things along and be like, okay, Vin plays piano, like I'm fine with that.
I am.
Let's roll for performance.
I was gonna get there eventually, but I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to just kind of do what you've been doing.
I just don't want to take like the entire session spotlight. I would feel bad.
I understand.
I love it, but I would feel bad.
I was okay.
This is the Cairona family home, so you know I kind of expected a Vinshenzo-centric session.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Hell yeah.
The real question is, would the others come to see the music?
Yeah.
Good question.
I've been trying to gauge like
I do.
You guys have been doing the cool role playing, and I've been just kind of waiting for it to peter out into like idleness, and then introduce like go to the next phase. So it seems like you guys were having a good time. I didn't want to interrupt that.
Yes.
Oh, I meant
Isaac
the
or
other party
Khutula showing up?
Khutula's having a
Khutula
nap.
and Isaac.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's the only
didn't
reason
see
I
that.
haven't. Yeah, she went into her apartment guest room and like closed the door, and then she's having a nap. So unless Khutula maybe hears the knock on her door, wakes up and hears about the fact that there's piano being played. That's up to Khutula.
It's probably laid down and immediately was risen by a knock.
Khutula rolls over and farts.
No.
Sorry.
Anton's not here to impress anymore. She can behave however she wants.
Okay.
Anyways, sorry. Apologies.
Nephis
Ooh.
continues to talk to Toblerone.
Toblerone.
Forget his name already. I just know it starts with a T.
Talon.
Talon.
Okay, yeah, Cthulhu's having a nappy nap. Isaac, what do you?
Yes.
Hang on, let me just.
Hello, Harvey.
Okay, you didn't say anything in the side chat. I thought you did, but I can't remember. What are you up to? What's going on, buddy?
Is there like a trading yard or a dojo that's accessible to guests?
Oh yeah! Not only is there that, because you have your handy dandy little butler man who's like answering questions helpfully. The house militia, which is like the personal guard of the family, they have a barracks on the ground, and their training yard is free use. It's actually where the family members go to train.
Well, I'm gonna go there and leave most of my gear behind.
All right.
Maybe Isaac will see my wife there.
Maybe. possible.
Maybe he'll get the shit kicked out of him there.
So I gotta admit something, because it was a lot. I had a few days where I had a lot of fun, like getting ready for just sort of this part of the setting. And I'll admit this before we keep going on, because Seeker knows a little bit about it. But I stumbled across a website that has somebody developed like the actual Drow language. And I found this funny little thing, and then of course my autism brain ticked to like 11, and then I uber organized like the house Cairona in this city and all this kind of shit. So like, yeah, but I wrote it all down, and some of the details I'm just like I can't find it as usual. So some of the details I have trouble with, but here's one thing. Okay, so there's the house militia, which is like the personal guard, but there's the house militia, which is composed of two different groups. So first part of it is like the actual armed force, which rivals that of like some small countries. They have a personal army, which is like the house. It's called the House Cairona Militia because it's essentially a privately funded army. And there's a few other like, and this is maybe a little bit too much, but this is a fun political background into this because it's cool. But there's other houses, big houses in this city, and basically together by having an alliance of these few houses, that's what the armed force defending this gate is. This is a collection of private armies by these noble Drow households. So they hold the power literally because they own army in the city.
That makes sense.
So the house militia is sort of a double, there's two meanings to it. So the house militia, the armed force, versus the personal guard, which I had a really cool Drow name and I wrote it down. I can't find a piece of paper, but it's like this. These are like the elite bodyguards. So they are like the house guard. And I had the name for it, but these guys are the ones that are around the grounds. These are the ones that guard the noble house members themselves. And they also act as like elite shot and stuff. So they're hanging out around here, and their barracks is in the house grounds. But the army itself, they're not on this. They're not in this area. They're like down below because it's, the dirty, stinky peasant army, or that kind of thing. So Vin, when this kind of all this ties into Vin, when I'm saying when you're here that your wife is at work, she's not on the grounds. She's down like training troops for that armed force.
Hell yeah.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what she does. She goes.
Okay, I can't hear anything. I think my headset shit itself again.
Hello.
Damn. Can't believe this could happen to us.
Oh, again.
Tower of Vin.
Okay, somebody say something.
Hello.
Something.
Perfect.
Or
Word.
Anyways, I don't know how long I was rambling about that before I just started
We heard all of
blundering
it.
through people.
We were
There you go.
listening eagerly.
Eagerly.
on our
Or
hands.
patiently, one of them. Anyways, yeah. So all that to say, it's a pretty all-inclusive training sparring area. And yeah, there are some people training there. There's obviously like the elite guards themselves, and then there is somebody who is sparring, and her name is Andro Cairona the Fifth.
Oh.
And you are aware of this because little butler guy who's hanging out with you and giving you help, he says, "Hey, just by the way, that's who that is."
Yeah, yeah, don't fuck with her.
Yeah. So you are aware that she's one of the family members.
Yeah.
And she is sparring with a training partner. The partner is dressed in armor, but she's just dressed in like training fatigues, and they're sparring with rapiers.
Ooh.
But yeah, there you go. That's the training facility.
A thrusting weapon.
Do not get rapiered.
Is Isaac training?
Isaac wanted to go AFK, but I forced him in the spotlight.
No, I was just bad joke
Oh,
from Nephis, and I was just sitting there like, no.
Oh.
Challenger to a duel.
No. Pay her no special mind and just get a good day's workout. Unless someone bothers me.
no. Nobody goes out of their way to bother you. Because
He
they're
has
all
his
there for the
earbuds
same.
in.
Yeah, they all also have their earbuds in. This isn't a social club. This is a training gym.
Isaac has his shirt off for all the female drow soldiers.
Of which there are disproportionately more of them here than there are males. I will say that for anybody who's interested to know.
His double D man chest.
Isaac's in heaven now.
Oh, I don't mean in the gym. I mean like just generally, like the elite house guard. There are more females than males
Yes.
because that's the way it is.
Woman dominant.
Yeah.
Femdom.
Oh.
It's a matriarchal society, and for somebody to have made it that far is quite impressive. Also, their husband does dishes and probably takes care of the kids. Anyways, moving onwards. That's Isaac. Khutula snoring.
Honk shoe.
Okay, yeah. So I do have the intention of just skipping to dinner if nobody else has anything they want to do, which I feel.
I would
Might
like
be
to roll
accurate.
performance on the piano.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Let me 11 plus 2, so that's a 13, and then I get a oh no. Glamour Weave doesn't. Oh no, Glamour Weave does with performance, I believe. Glamour Weave. Hold on. I should have looked this up sooner, I'm sorry.
I'm holding.
Yes, I can. Okay. Uh, 13 plus 8 is 21 plus 4.
Oh.
I got a 25 on my performance.
Hell yeah.
Jesus.
And I play I title my performance as The Sanctuary of Souls Betrayal.
Oh.
And then I play for a while, and then we can go to dinner.
Yay, dinner. Okay, so not all the family members are home. But this. Ding ding. Obviously, Mom and Dad are there. Ristel and Andril are there. And Andril the Fifth, who comes not in her training stuff, obviously, but in nicer attire.
The daughter.
Talon and Amathray are also there, and Amathray is Vinshenzo's wife.
Oh, yes.
But also, no, sorry, that's it. And then there are a few other like state, essentially like the house officials. You know, people high enough up in the food chain that they're allowed to come to family dinners sometimes. So you have personal equerries, you have magistrates who handle the runnings of the house, such things like that. Vinshenzo, you are informed from your wife. I don't know if you want to like do something special about meeting her or just want to happily be like, yes, my wife, hello.
Did she go to the room?
She goes to the room first to like, she stops at the office and does a few things and then goes and gets changed and comes down. And she comes like, she shows up towards the end of your piano playing to sort of like collect you for dinner. Collect you and your friends.
Hi,
essentially.
honey, I'm home.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of thing. And she comes wearing a nice appropriate evening attire.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to see.
Conservative,
right,
but
guys?
still fine and fancy evening attire.
I don't know. I would like happily like fawn over her and be like, "Oh, it's been so long. I love you so much."
Yeah, you greet your wife, and your wife greets you back in an equally fawning way, and she tells you, as you sort of, you know, she begins catching you up on sort of the family gossip. Ooh. And she tells you that that Andril V has become pregnant.
Oh,
and it's like the exciting, sort of the new exciting thing.
she's the one that's like married herself into her own family, right? With someone else. I forget what I wrote to you.
Okay, I will tell you. Because I've been like, I'm actively referencing all the family notes. Children, there we go. Okay. Andril V, Vin's sister-in-law, a major in the Cairona militia. No. It's oh yeah, no, sorry, yes. Brother-in-law. So why did she take Ristel's name? I don't understand how you made this family tree, man.
One of them has married their sister or brother. I forget.
Wow.
Oh, it's incestuous.
Yes.
Oh.
Because it's royalty.
The royal incest.
Oh.
Gotta have that royal blood.
Totally missed out on that. I thought they just happened to be married, and I don't know why. I thought Ristel Cairona II like took her name same way Vinshenzo took, you know, the Cairona name. And then I didn't quite understand why his name was Ristel, and I did not clue into the fact that it was okay. Well, I'm not backing down. I'm not pulling that punch. I didn't realize how hard I was hitting, but you still get that news.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Damn.
Fuck.
I mean, it was bound to happen eventually.
Holy crap. Holy. Anyways.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I mean, that's how it was.
Yeah, that's like the
No, it's true. No,
that's
it's
the
true.
unspoken dialogue of like why Vin is like a fucked up weirdo.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't put that I was so woefully, like, blissfully ignorant, like that
They're all inbred.
Like maybe he's like a hypochondriac or whatever, and like
Jesus Christ.
Weak bone marrow.
The pool isn't so shallow. He can still reproduce and be a productive member of society. It's
or
fine.
what's that condition where you can't stop bleeding, like your blood doesn't clot?
Hemophilia.
Hypoxia?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. Sorry, hypoxia.
No, it's
Is it
not.
hypoxia?
Hypoxia is oxygen deprivation.
Oh, yeah.
Hypochondria?
No, that's when you think something's wrong with you.
Oh, come on. I'm derailing.
I think it might be
myself hard enough
hemophilia.
where-
Like you said.
Hemophilia.
Anyway, it's not important. Like that's why, like Vin
Yeah.
is like a fucked up,
Hemophilia.
like afraid of danger.
It's
and
an inherent
weird.
bleeding disorder in which the blood does not clot properly.
Yeah. And Vin is
That's
Vin is,
hemophilia.
that's why Vin is like afraid, because he has like all these fucked up like things about him, like his bones are weak and shit.
He's sick. He's sickly and frail.
He's permanently sick. Vin says, "Oh my," to that news.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, that's the sort of the hot goss. So she kind of like explains that right now it's sort of the subject du jour. It's sort of like this isn't how she tells it to you, but she basically is like, this is what we're reacting to right now. Like this is the big thing. She's filling you in on that. Like,
I will not bring it up at the table, certainly.
And she pats you on the arm, and anyways, she asks to be introduced to your friends who are beginning to gather for supper. Khutula, you can't miss out on this one.
She has awoken and is freshening up.
Dinner is not
fine
optional,
clothing.
huh?
I mean, you can.
You will
probably
enjoy your dinner.
Skip dinner
Well,
if you want.
you know what? You can. You totally can. It's okay if you don't. Sorry, I don't want to say it that way. You have the free will to not go to that supper.
I feel like Khutula wouldn't pass up a free meal.
Again,
That's what I'm saying. She's freshened up in her fine clothing.
well, you come downstairs and
This
there's
is gonna be a pretty good feed, guys.
Look, the food might be good, but I have to deal with nobles and shit.
Ah, you are suffering the status effect itis. You've all
Again.
been afflicted with itis. I'm sorry.
I love that. I don't know where it's from, but I love it. Anyways, yeah. So it's you have the free will to choose not to go to that supper. You're not going to be like dragged out on your hands and knees if you choose not to go.
I'm sure like somebody would be sent to be like, "Are you sure you don't want supper?" And
Oh no, 100%.
if
Somebody
you're not
like
attending supper, do you want something brought to your room or something?
that's what I was gonna carry on with. Like if like they knock on the door and if you answer or if you whatever you're up to, and they say, "Hey, dinner's ready," kind of thing. Please prepare like
Dinner's ready.
soon. You know, if you say, "Oh, I'm not going," or if you just say, "Oh, thanks, cool," you know, and close the door, they're not going to say anything to you. But if you say, "No, I'm not going," you know, they'll say, "Oh, we can bring something to you." That is a thing. Like you have that free will, and they do provide you food.
It's DoorDash.
Yeah, or you can just.
In that
not
case,
answer
I
the
will
door.
have something brought to the room.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. All right.
Look, I'm not gonna sit in on a noble dinner with a bunch of etiquette and shit.
Damn.
Fuck that.
He just wants to sit
Vin will be
here and
very
listen
disappointed.
to the cool dinner role play.
Vin will be disappointed.
I don't think Isaac cares though.
Vin cares a lot. Isaac doesn't.
Carlos
Can't make this
wouldn't
work.
dream
We
of
don't have
doing
dinner
that to
with my
them.
parents. Anyway, okay, so yeah, so your wife is there, your friends are there, minus Isaac, and everybody's sitting down. It's a very nice long table. The plates are all empty. It's imagine one of those sort of colonial British fancy suppers. You sit down, all the food is brought to you. If you drink wine, your glass is refilled. Like all that kind of stuff. You are not acknowledged. Well, not acknowledged. You are not spoken to by the waiting staff aside from like asking a specific question, a direct question about like, would you like white or red wine, or a specific bottle. But everything, it's like the full 9 forks and spoons and beautiful porcelain plates and crystal wine glasses, chandeliers. It's a nice fancy dinner. And you all sit down, and someone has water, and there's that lovely the little like hot bowls of rose petal infused water for you to like wash your hands if you need, or I don't know what it's for, but I've seen that at fancy suppers, and I assume it's for something like that. Yes, make sure you lift your pinky when you drink. but yes, the so the family members minus Ristel II, 'cause he's away on business. And then there are 2 house magistrates, and then there is 1 equerry who is the equerry to Ristel Cairona. An equerry is essentially like a personal Khutula.
Hell yeah.
What?
Oh my god.
They read lots of books and they know things.
Oh.
Tula just pretends to do that.
Spends a lot of time being poked at by rapiers.
Oh, baby.
I'm talking about like the practicing sessions because I assume you interrupt her reading for doing rapier practice.
Gotta keep her sharp, you know?
Keep her limber. All right. Anyways. Yeah, so fancy dinner. Vin or
Hello.
anybody, the family sits down to the meal. And food is served, and it's effectively the only real link is the links formed between Nephis and Talon and Carlos and Vin, and then obviously Vin and the rest of his family, but they're kind of sitting on their side and you're sitting on your side, sort of thing. But the 4 of you, Talon, Vinshenzo, Carlos, and Nephis, the 4 of you are sat sort of in the middle because you know each other. And Talon will, after a little bit of time when everyone sat down and sort of finished saying hello or acknowledging,
I would introduce everyone of the Nissian vagabonds to everyone at the table.
Yeah, so after that, the only real conversation is going to come from Talon towards and continue talking about whatever your chatter about, like survival stuff or anything.
I mean, I would be like gabbing my freaking head off
Yeah,
to like whoever.
but in terms of
like, especially
other...
the matriarch, and be like, oh yeah, then we did this, and oh, the Sanctuary of Souls betrayed us, and we got overrun, and we got thrown in a coliseum, like all this shit.
You just tell the story. Mom, I did this thing, and then
they threw me in jail.
Yeah, and then I killed a guy, and now I'm a king.
You're proud of me for Nancon? Well, that was the easiest part, almost.
Almost. Okay, well, in that case, like the family is listening politely.
Hell yeah.
And reacting appropriately when needed. But like
in every
measured.
like story, I would try to bolster everyone's image to the family to get the family to like them. Be like, oh, I would have been. Me and Mr. Carlos, we had a run-in, and he helped me.
That is okay. Yeah. So,
is Mr. Stormwind feeling ill tonight?
oh, yeah, that's right. I keep thinking that he's there, but he's not. And that's okay because he's not there, and he's allowed to not be there. But that's fine. But
he's a bit of the quiet type, but he's a good man as all the others.
So it's at this point where a servant comes and like leans towards the back of your shoulder and informs you that he had taken supper in his quarter.
Finn frowns. Very well. I hope he's feeling better tomorrow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a pretty big story to tell, and that's
I
currently
wouldn't tell like the whole like everything and then we spent a day in this piece of shit town and did nothing.
Well, sorry, what I was gonna say is, they're not going to bother really interrupting the story if that's gonna essentially be like the main
Yeah.
event of the supper if you're gonna tell that. And I don't know what any of the other party people want
And
to
I would
do.
like interject and be like, yes, Carlos, tell them about how you shot the chul on the beach on the road to the place and where we were.
Carlos would be sure to oblige, and he'd embellish appropriately.
I would do that for everyone.
Okay.
And when Carlos did speak about like the times that they were fighting, and if then like deferred to him to say something, Carlos would be sure to point out how Vinshenzo's magical support was also instrumental to ensuring their safety.
Instrumental.
Instrumental? Yes, he would use that word.
Kardoc's turning into Xane.
Khutula, are you adding in to any of this?
I've been spending too much
She
time with
stays
Xane.
mostly silent unless
Khutula.
directly addressed by Vin or whoever else.
I would involve Khutula.
Okay. Well,
She would. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say she would like chime in with like comments here and there, but not like create some big elaborate story. She is not a performer.
Yes. She's very humble, but she really... Her spellcasting ability even overcomes my own in many ways. Like for killing people.
Jesus Christ.
Like for killing.
I didn't say that.
Kardoc, what are you doing?
Oh, sorry. Is it coming over the mic?
He's
Oh,
playing
yeah,
with
I don't know what
Harvey.
it is.
Leave him alone.
Is that what you're doing?
Sorry. No,
it's okay.
I was just practicing reloading one of my pistols. That's all.
He's showing Harvey how to reload.
Yeah, in case he ever needs to use it.
I don't know why, but I thought you
Assassin
had
dog.
like one of those kids' lunch type snacks, like Dunkaroos or something, and you were just slapping like a piece of hard plastic
I love Dunkaroos.
on a table. That's what it sounded like. Not a fucking magazine. Okay,
Kardoc's
anyways.
profile picture is based on the Dunkaroo dog.
Dunkaroo.
The Dunkaroo dog. Wait, wasn't that a kangaroo?
No, it's a Dunkaroo dog.
Hmm.
Or maybe it's
Everything's a type
kangaroo.
of dog, don't you
I've
know?
never had
You're-
Dunkaroo.
That's a weird looking dog.
Oh man.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so wow, that got me wildly off track. So I'd like you to roll a performance for doing your telling this great tale with help from
Oh, so I get
Carlos.
advantage?
Hell yeah.
with help from Carlos.
Carlos
sh-
always
what?
has your back.
I shouldn't have
advantage.
used my glamour
Yeah, that's how-
wave.
That's how help
What?
works.
I know, but I want to think about that because that's just way too fucking way
Okay.
too easy for one giant story. So you're gonna roll both performance. Both of you are gonna roll performance.
Okay.
With advantage or
No. Roll performance.
okay? Holy moly!
Oh,
In
nat
before-
20,
In
baby.
before nat 1.
So that's see 24. Natural 20 with +4.
I got
Wow.
24. Yeah, I got 24 as well.
Wow.
Now, some of you might be sitting there thinking, now, why the hell does that matter? I mean, obviously, they're going to nail a performance check. The two most charismatic members of the
expertise.
party. But
I'm
see,
not
here's
actually
the thing.
proficient in performance.
But the thing is that you're a kobold. So what's happening is Vinshenzo's telling this amazing story, and some shitty little lizard is like fucking squawking from the corner, like, "Rah, rah, 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 yeah, this
Wow.
kind of perspective.
I thought Carlos had the same voice.
Well, here's the
He would not.
rationale. See, he rolled he fucking nat 20 that shit. So he's not like the way I described it is not how it comes across.
Okay.
But that's what I
Comes
wanted
across
to see.
as sophisticated.
It comes across as not being a jabbering little lizard.
We had this conversation like 20 sessions ago where I said Carlos would not have the same voice, and I was told Carlos has the same voice, so that's what I assume.
I was mimicking what somebody might do to make fun of a tiny little lizard who is standing in the uniform that Carlos is wearing, talking about, a crazy adventure.
Okay.
I
How did our performances go?
Well, fucking amazing. Look at the numbers you rolled. Really well. It's just going to be really funny if one of you rolled a 2. It's a very important story that you're telling to a very important group of people.
Rolling
Hell
a 2
yeah.
would not be a problem for me.
Not for you. That's why I didn't want to just do it at like advantage, because Carlos was also like actively being a part of the storytelling based on your both of your sort of explanation of how the story is told. And that's why I asked Khutula how she was inputting, to see how much of an active participant she was, which is basically when you guys going, and then this happened, right, Khutula? And she goes, yeah, is basically the feeling that I got.
I think she would like chime in and like correct some facts here and there, but like not quite.
Yeah. But you're,
Yeah.
Sorry, the point is more like you're not, it doesn't seem based on your description of how you were being involved that you're actively like contributing to the glamour of the
Yeah,
show.
pretty
Actually, you're
much.
just being modest.
Yeah.
If she
Being
tried to like
modest.
play down play down any of her stuff, Shush, you're being modest.
Can I
Grounded.
give Carlos bardic inspiration from stirring words or music? Because I've been speaking.
He got a nat 20, but yeah, sure you can.
Hell yeah.
Impress my family.
I mean, technically.
Should I
man.
roll it to make the score higher, or is this for later?
No,
If you.
this is like as I was telling the story. Because bardic inspiration requires me to inspire others with words or music. So it was from the story you were inspired
Yes.
that we just rolled. So that already happened. And
Copy
go
that.
back.
Okay, well, this performance takes pretty much the entire dinner to tell. Oh wait, Nephis has been here the whole fucking time. Oh shit, I'm really sorry. I saw you muted and I just
He has a new friend.
scrolled on past. I'm really sorry. You have a new friend. What are you up to? Are you being part of this story? What are you doing? Oh fucking shit.
I would
You were AFK like Isaac.
Oh no, I was here. I was just muted.
Isaac's not AFK. He's alone in his room.
He would be he would be helping recount, just not as much as Carlos.
I would be doing the same thing for him as I am doing Carlos and Khutula. Like much the same as like what I was doing in the other room with Talon, and being like,
Yeah.
oh yes, I'd be up shit creek without a paddle if it weren't for.
Yeah, you're really trying to buff and polish them to be as pretty as possible.
There's one
Which
thing
is
that he
really
would
good.
say is when he mentioned when Vin mentioned Carlos shooting the Chul, he would say, "Yes, perhaps if he was in his normal form, he would have been on the beach with me."
Wow.
Vin nervously laughs.
Wasn't the Chul before he was
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was
a
before.
lizard?
I
Yeah.
don't think it was.
Because
I have dementia.
wasn't on the way to like the.
Yeah,
oh
it
yeah, it
was.
was on the way. Fuck.
He was still humans.
Never
Yeah.
mind. I just want to poke fun of him being a fucking kobold.
Well, I mean,
Well, you fucked
at certain
up.
points, there were fights that you had where he was a kobold. So
I mean, yeah, like the knoll part where I fucking got one right between the eyes, like the first one that showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Anyways, yeah, he would just be helping recount.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna get you to roll performance as well.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Oh, I should have gave it to Nephis. Shit.
You still have the opportunity. I will give you that opportunity because you
Okay.
are working really hard to do that.
A 19.
Okay. Oh, roll. You can use this
Well,
if you want. Or no.
He gets it.
It's all,
I
it's
get
all
a
at the same time.
Oh, okay. It's
You don't
20.
get it.
Okay, I don't get it. My roll is a 22.
Well, you're fantastic as well.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
You have all brought out your best natural statesman, and the family by the end of the night is like everyone is fairly into it, and the matriarch lady Andro herself, while she's not quite as actively engaged in the storytelling, she is sitting back with a glass of wine, and there's the faint trace of a smile across her face as she's just listening to and witnessing sort of this story play out.
Damn.
Which-
Dude.
Yeah, freely I'm basing all the information that you gave me. She seems like somebody who is very much in control of, like, she's a sphinx in terms of emotional. So the fact that there's like even like the curling up of the lip of this, like the betrayal of a smile is like, oh, okay, she's having a good time,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So, but yeah, they have a good time. So that is the dinner. As dramatic as it is, but it's the meeting of the family. You get to see as pretty much the rest of Vinshenzo's married side of his family as well as his wife, and they listen to the story. And towards the end is when they start really getting in. Not towards the end, like towards the middle and the end is when they start getting into it and like asking for clarification on one or two things, or asking more information about another spot, because a lot of these places that you're talking about they've never been to before, or they've never heard of before, and they're curious about the places that you're speaking of.
What did the chul taste like?
Talon would have asked that,
Like a crustacean.
and he would have been very interested if you talked about the massive fish and any of the other, like, all of the more interesting, like, huntsman type beast fighting things is what captures Talon's interest. Whereas
I would have heard about the giant fish. That was like one of Vin's like happiest moments on the journey.
the big fish.
Oh
The big
boy, I
fish.
got one.
And then like Lady Andril the Fifth, the young Lady Andril, who's Pregos. She's more interested when you start talking about the people of Vales and their struggles against the orcs and a few of the other conflicts. When you start speaking of the vampires, she begins to ask questions like that. And towards the end of the supper, she inquires with Nephis about his time serving in the Tarvian Navy,
Oh.
just generally, and starts asking you questions. Like, she is interested. She talks less about the actual sailing part, though she does ask a few questions, but she begins to query more about the more strategic side of the Navy, and asking how a Navy works.
Damn.
It's
It's a shame Anton isn't here.
I wasn't a higher up. I did man all the stations though while I was on the vessel. More interested in the workings about. But we usually just wasn't it ruled that I was like a trading vessel, or on a trading vessel or something like that for the Tarvian, or logistical vessel.
Merchant Marine or something?
You never specified that you'd seen combat, and there are plenty of basically tender duties. Like, you could be exactly that. You might not have been part of combat, but she does ask a lot of. Anyways, those are kind of the questions she speaks to you about, because it is revealed to you that the Drow don't have boats or navies or a sea fleet, and an element that she's ever had to consider or work with. It's a brand new concept or an unfamiliar concept that she's curious about.
Yes, the most fascinating part about sea travel is navigating via the sky, the stars at night.
I don't know enough about sailing to like get into a good dialogue with you, but there's an interest in like the Navy and stuff from her.
Nephis knows his way around a sextant and watch and chart.
Aye. Nephis actually has one. Navigational tools for a vessel.
He's true.
He could show her.
And then Talon already knows stuff. She's there. Amethray, she's hanging out. She's having a good time. She's just enjoying the fact that her husband's back and listening to his crazy cool story that he had been on.
Perhaps, if you do visit the land Vin owns, you can see the vessel.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They do
right
get very
on the
excited
coast.
about like the fact that you're the captain of a boat. Like it's a pretty
ship's
foreign. It's
captain.
exotic to them. It's exciting and exotic.
Yeah. I'm kind of interesting.
And Khutula being from a fairly far away place, they know what Dragonborn are, but that's like effectively like Japan to them. It's an entirely foreign concept, and anything you really say or do, they're pretty interested in you. You're exciting, and Carlos, because of your charm and your story, you've captivated Amethray as well, actually,
Oh.
because. Well, not captivated in a weird way, but like you know, the roguish background, the sort of the dramatic flair. So, that's a fun side of the story.
We hope to fix his appearance.
Well,
Yeah,
at that
one day.
she mentions loudly enough to Vinshenzo. She inquires about Vinshenzo's father and if he might know of a cure.
Yes, that is one reason why we've returned. Certainly not the most important. And I wink at her.
Aw.
Oh my.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the dinner is that. It ends with sort of Lady Andril, the matriarch, standing up and announcing to you, the guests, formally stating you are welcome to stay here as long as you wish, as comrades of my son Vinshenzo. You are welcome to treat this place as home as long as you stay here with him, and that you are formally welcomed and recognized as friends of the House Cairona.
Wonderful.
And then supper sort of
during
trails
like
off
the
at that.
tail end
Yep.
of supper, I would ask the matriarch if Carlos could I don't know how you would like say it in like the like hold court with you, and I ask if Carlos can like bring to her like his like ask for assistance or whatever in the trade union shit, because it involves another noble family, Carlos's noble family of humans, allegedly.
His human family. Sorry, can you repeat
orphans'
the request
human
again?
family.
I was double checking the Helvani information just to make sure I was.
Yeah, that's fine. So Vin told Carlos that he would get him in front of Lady Andril
Yeah.
to like present his like his own family's like issues with these fucking trade company people. 'Cause Vin is still under the impression that, oh, Carlos, you're a noble such as myself.
Yeah.
And through that, like, there could potentially be like a benefit to the Cairona family as well. And that's why Vin, like, he's mostly doing it to like help Carlos and like do a favor for him. But like,
Yeah.
she might go along with it maybe because it might be like a beneficial relationship or something. I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
So, Lady Andril, in response to the information you've given her,
Vin is just simply asking right now if he and Carlos could like be in her court and like ask a request. He's not like giving the whole situation right now.
yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
You're just basically saying, hey, can we have an opportunity to speak about this specific matter?
Yes.
And so based on that quick thing, she says, so she's going to say yes, but she would also like to at some point meet with the other members of your, like yourself and the other members of your party. In a more casual, well, actually, sorry, in a more formal setting. But that will be discussed at a later time. Sort of thing like that.
Yes.
I can't think of a good way to word it.
Formally introduce oneself. Yes, I say, yes, I'm sorry Mr. Stormwind wasn't present, but he's a bit of a silent type. He's a good man, though.
The matriarch does not. She simply nods, but she doesn't really register any emotional reaction to his presence or lack thereof.
Yes.
So that's about it for, like I said, that at that point in time, sort of supper trails away. Hello.
What was served at the feast?
Oh my God, lots.
Okay,
of
I'm joking. I'm joking. It's okay. Good food. Eat good.
Mm-hmm. Lots. There were 7 courses. Lots of courses.
Only 7. Huh?
Only 7, and then there's the option of having like coffee and a smoke by the fireplace, sort of like the evening lounge type thing, and then everybody's going to bed. That's not an expected gathering; it's just commonplace activity. Yeah, so you're free to go about. Supper's over, dinner's over. Fucking Amathray, the wife, mentions to Vinshenzo as you're all sort of moving away from the table, as you're still clumped up. Down your seat. What? Okay, cool. Amathray mentions that if you're looking to go visit your father, soon would be the best time, as he will likely be preoccupied with house business, Helvani house business soon.
Hell yeah.
And if he's looking to, if Vinshenzo is looking to get into contact with him, it'd be best to go home sooner. That way you can get more time with him.
Hell yeah. I acknowledge this information and pass it along to Carlos. No,
she says this as you guys are standing up to leave.
Oh.
So it's kind of like
okay.
to you and the dudes, but more in a, hey, I'm just letting you guys know this informally as a tidbit. and then she begs her leave, and she has to go off and do something else.
Ah, you're so busy.
Well, she's not gonna like announce her evening plans in front of like, yes, they're vetted company, but they're still like strangers. She's not gonna like she would tell her husband if it was just the two of them, like, oh, I'm just gonna go do these things and be right back. But you know, these people are new. She just gonna like, she says, excuse me, I'll see you back in the room, kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
And dips out.
Well, perhaps we should make way for your fathers then.
We must
Looking at Vin.
we must leave so soon.
It's up to you. This is your family after all.
I will Vin for the Seeker for the sake of it. It's like days, not you need to see him tomorrow kind of thing. She's
How
just
far
letting you
away
know,
is
like,
he?
I believe House Helvani is in the same region because you're not from far away.
It's up to you.
I took it to understand that you're local, and that's how I'm doing it.
It's
I just
up
wanted
to you.
to. I
local
want you
boy.
Local. You're local, but you're not in this exact part of the city. You're actually in a different, more. Anyway, it's a different part of the city, but it's within a day. Like you're in the same part of the city.
Damn, that's a big city.
It's a big fucking city, yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. I'm fine with
underground.
big city.
It's not just the fact that it's underground, but you got to remember that it's underground walls, floor, and ceiling.
Like
Yes.
deep.
Yeah.
I
So
wonder how many
you can
steps it
travel up
takes
to the
get
roof.
down to the Underdark.
I think I told you kind of how that whole thing works, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, okay.
you have to go down before you go up, though.
Down before you go up? What do you mean?
Well, isn't House Cairona like built into the wall?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I didn't quite. Anyways, I missed it. It
It's
flew over
not
my head.
important. I'm sorry.
It's not. Deadly. Cool. All right. Well, cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Floors to you, lot, fellas.
Shall we be leaving?
No.
Okay.
I will.
I imagine we'd at least,
sort of the end of the day.
We should probably at least have a good night's rest before we go anywhere, I imagine.
Mr. Nephis, it has been quite some time since I've had even a day with my wife or even slept in my own bed.
He didn't say, shall we be leaving? That was Isaiah's voice. That wasn't Nephis.
Who said that?
What was that noise?
All right.
Yes, we will make way for the Helvani house. But we stay here tonight.
Aye.
Especially since Mr. Stormwind has seemingly come under some sort of ailment or rather.
Ah, yes, that gives us time. Oh, fucking up my voice. Ah, yes, that can give us time to chat about that the tune I was thinking of.
Yes.
Yes.
Vin teaches Nephis how to play piano.
Yes.
Nephis can only play Heart and Soul. It's the best song, really.
Truly. Okay. I had something on my head and then I forgot it. What
It's
was
on
I
your
thinking
head.
of? Holy crap.
I
What were you
retire to
thinking
my
about?
room. I excuse myself.
I remember. Okay. Is anybody else? I assume you're all happy moving to the next day.
I
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. What?
I
Yes.
Oh.
I steal 2 wine glasses from the kitchen, and I go up to my room, and I grab Amithray and cast Dimension Door on her, and
What is
take her
that?
to the roof, teleport
The
to the
roof.
roof, and we drink the
Oh.
Velvet Turtle wine on the roof together.
Fuck yeah. What a great welcome home present that you gave to your wife after you came home. How the fuck? What? How did that work? It's like a hobbit's birthday. You're giving away all the gifts. Nice. Well done, sir. That is
Dimension
quite
Door
smooth.
lets me teleport 500 feet anywhere that I know or can describe.
You teleport to not the roof, but quite high up to a nice little pocket that you two have shared before. I'm sure. I am curious.
I'm a climber.
Or is this like? Is this
Vin
the
will be
first time
shaking
you've done
his-
this, or is this something that you two enjoy? Like you have your own little special spot?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, it seems like so, I don't
Finn's
know.
a climber.
Based on what I know, it seems like a cool thing.
Climber. He
It's
really
where they
is.
hid in the past.
So
to get
you
away.
you enjoy a nice evening on the roof with your wife and a
Yeah.
bottle of wine.
Oh, baby.
Shaking his black ass.
Yeah, and I can
It
bring
is actually like
one willing creature. If I bring
she's
her,
willing, yeah.
and I use my wand of wand
Oh,
of
no.
conducting to have music play while we're up there. Hell yeah! Boom. That's how you. That's how you woman.
Oh yeah, she's
Well
a
done,
creature of
sir.
the
That's how you
dark.
get woman.
You know what?
I've been
I think
carrying
that's a
that
pretty good way
Velvet
to-
Turtle wine since like fucking session like 28.
And it was a good wine too.
Yeah,
And it's been aging.
Yes.
it's bad now.
You know what? Roll me a D100.
No, don't.
I don't know how to do that. Oh yeah,
2d10.
never
The
mind. I do.
2D.
Or special dice.
2D.
Okay. 69. Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Oh.
Wow. That's lucky. Yeah, it's still good. It's still fine.
Chris wanted to ruin my date.
No. I was gonna ruin the date. I was gonna make
You
it like
were
a quirky. I was gonna sit there and say that you both make fun of the wine together and like just laugh at it.
And throw it off the roof and hit
Or
someone.
Humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that, and like watch somebody have to go and clean it up or some shit like that. she would probably do that too.
Ah, look, here comes the help.
Watch this. Look, now they have to mop it too.
Here,
Shatters
pour
all
glass
over the
on them.
ground.
And then I go to bed.
With his wife.
Hell yeah.
Fade to black. So the next morning,
Has the party seen the slaves yet?
they
Oh.
don't. You don't put slaves in the house. The basically the servants are quite nice looking, and there's no overt signs of slavery in terms. There's no like, raggedy, trembling, bleeding person in chains being limped around in the back rooms.
Yeah, but they're
This
like
is the
mining
nice, happy
somewhere
place.
or something.
Yeah, but this is not this specific place. This geographical location is not the place for them
Hell
because they're not good enough to be there.
yeah. I was just wondering if any were. Hell yeah.
Nope. The closest you have is the house servants who are. They are like
They're
they do
workers.
enter the service, yeah, but they are also they're paid.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Sorry, not there you go. It's the morning. So it's the morning. You all wake up. Hooray!
Right.
normal house morning activities sort of happen. There is a breakfast. The breakfast is
Delicious.
served in the guest quarters, or sorry, not in the guest quarters, but on the guest floor. There's like a small area where breakfast is served in the morning, and hot coffee and tea are provided, and all that kind of stuff. A nice breakfast arrangement. Continental buffet, essentially, except
Hell yeah.
better because it's high class.
Eighth good.
Then obviously you have a different breakfast
Food.
experience.
What does that mean?
Like someone comes, takes your order, and then food is brought to your little like
Oh,
apartment suite.
I thought
So you don't.
Never mind.
No, it's no.
wake
It's
up,
like
fade to
you
black.
you both can enjoy. Look, I'm not going to tell you what you both and how you spend your time with your wife, but the breakfast procedure is that someone asks what you would like to eat, or if you would like to eat. You know, kind of the good morning, sir. Here's your hot towel. Would you like a shave? You know, would you like the regular, 3 bacon, 2 eggs today, kind of thing like that, and then your morning is provided to you essentially. And it's that time when you sit there and it's the morning equivalent of like reading the newspaper and having a coffee, except, there's someone pouring your coffee, and you and your wife are just hanging out, enjoying a morning breakfast privately together. The family members, they take their morning breakfasts apart. It's your personal time to sort of just be with your immediate others.
Hell yeah. I would have specialty things prepared for my friends if they asked for it.
Well, they have full access. Like they're in the VIP like suite package now, so they get the same sort of thing, except not to as high a degree. So if you ask for something at the breakfast table, you get it.
If you want anything more than this, it's not even a problem.
Yeah.
Nephis tries a little bit of everything.
It's all very exotic.
Like
but very good.
I'm trying incredibly hard for my family to like my friends and my friends to like my family.
Yeah.
Vin needs this. He needs it.
Don't fuck this up for me, Carlos.
Carlos has done anything but fuck it up thus far. I think you'd agree.
Fuck.
Yeah. So the day is yours, or the morning is yours. You've all been, no matter what, you've been woken up somehow, because the servants come into your chambers and sort of like rouse you for the day.
Oh my.
Well, this is for the guests.
I'm sorry, I will stop.
This is more for the guests as well. So you are woken in the morning. The day is now yours. Breakfast is served. Here you go. World's your oyster. Form your plans. Do your shit.
Hell yeah.
I have to pee super duper D quick, so I will be right back.
Don't push too hard.
Put your thumb over it so it sprays everywhere like a hose.
The fuck?
Oh, that's a question for Chris. Nephis
really
would
takes the
ask though.
piss.
Oh.
What does Nephis ask?
Do you know of any shops? Perhaps we can pick up some novelties here
Oh,
for our journey.
can we not?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I assume we'll be-
we just got done shopping.
Yes, what about second shopping?
Third and dairy shopping.
There's always more to be had.
We have everything we need.
I am curious though, is there like what's the wilderness like in the Underdark? Is it just like vacant caves and underground lakes?
Vacant cave.
Vacant caves and underground lakes and not so vacant caves.
It's like the RuneScape wilderness.
Yeah. Vacant of Drow.
Yeah,
Filled with monsters.
The Underdark is like one of the more dangerous places.
Yeah, like, is it just fucking like caves everywhere, or is there more?
Caves, darkness, and there's, I don't know. Chris is doing like his own thing. He said, "Oh, he's back."
Cave update from Minecraft.
Nephis and Carlos want to know what the
Underdark is like.
The Underdark
is it like
is like
all fucking caves and stuff, or are there other things?
Can I use that +2 to roll a survival, or would it be history, or to roll whatever to learn a little bit more? Or
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You also, I will point out that you do have like there are people around who live here who you can ask these kinds of questions.
Yeah, you have a little follower guy who will be like, "Oh yes, the Underdark."
Well, the follower guy isn't there the whole time. He's there like if you go out beyond the guest area.
Let me fetch someone who knows everything.
So you know that the Underdark, similar to the overworld because we're in Minecraft. What do they call it? The Overbright?
No, that's something I said because it's the opposite of Underdark. That's not what they fucking call it.
I remember they do actually have a.
Can we have them call it this then?
In
The
like
Overbright?
the above world or something.
in actual D&D, the Underdark is a place that is like far below ground, but it's like separate from what is called the prime material plane, so it's considered like a different plane of existence.
It's effectively the Nether.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's the best. That's the best way to do it. So I've taken it in a different context, and it is for the easiest explanation is it is more Minecrafty. I mean, well, just fucking listen.
I love you.
Essentially, it is its own world. It is its own underground like landscape. It has geographical features and stuff, and there are different planes, and it extends deep beneath the surface. But when we're talking about scale, the city that you're in is considered a small tunnel to the surface.
Damn.
So it's like the inverse of mountain ranges. Instead of mountain ranges where you're sitting there, you're like, oh shit, I have to cross the Rocky Mountains. It's not the Rocky Mountains. It's like, the Shadow Cauldron, where you're spanning across like this massive, huge bowl of a gorge. And inside there's like mushroom fungal forests, and there are these entirely different landscape of fauna and flora. And you also have, the Dwergar and the few of those other really weirdo like shadowy races, and it's got its own problems and stuff. I'm gonna flip a coin as to whether or not I want to do this, because I had it as part of the original story plot, and it was gonna be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but in base game D&D, you can't like walk from the surface to the Underdark.
Okay. Yeah, no. So in this world, in this setting, there are 3 places that you can enter the Underdark in terms of just known. Instead of a portal, it's an actual tunnel. And on the world map, it's the 3 big mountain ranges. So there's one in the middle of the continent that you guys are on. Sorry, not 3 big mountain ranges. That one, the other mountain range that's currently covered up by the West Marches map. And then there's an entrance in Morrowind. There you go. And that big ass fucking mountain range there. So the Dragonborn live north of a Drow portal, or an Underdark entrance. And then here it's in the middle of no man's land in this mountain range. of the wilderness, and then the third one is in Morrowind, which is the land of the High Elves. So those are the only places where they get to and from the surface. And now there's tiny little shitty caves and cracks and stuff that will eventually lead you there, and that does exist. But those are this is an avenue of the connection of two civilizations. And because of that, they're able to sort of colonize and connect this huge main network of tunnels. So you have underground highways and places where you can travel between cities that trade between one another. And some are upper, higher up towards the surface. Some are deep, deep, dark underground, kind of shit like that. And the deeper you get beneath the earth, usually the more dangerous it gets. And then the more remote you get, again, the more dangerous it becomes. So that is the Underdark, and that is how I've created and envisioned it.
I like it. Whoa.
Yeah.
Everyone's playing with the big coin right now.
The big gravity coin. I'm tuned out of the weird story and tuned into the shiny coin. Anyway, yeah, so that's the Underdark.
Hell yeah.
Copy that. Whenever it does suit us, I don't mind heading to your father's to get Carlos' fix. I say sooner the better, but I know your family misses you.
Yes, certainly. I think Amathray will be very upset if I leave so soon. And at any rate, Mr. Carlos has business with the matriarch.
Indeed. When would be best for us to do that?
I'm sure when she's ready for you, you will know.
Fair enough.
Very conveniently, somebody comes up and hands you a slip of paper that states that you were summoned to the throne room for midday.
Noonday.
Midday. It's not a weird place. I'm just a weird person.
Mid-dark.
Mid-dark.
Ah, it's dark again.
I will remind you that there is sunlight in this part of the area. It does come through the mouth of the cave, so they do operate a little bit with the day-night cycle, a little bit in terms of time marking.
Hell yeah. I wish I could delete this fucking coin.
No.
Get rid of it. Everyone's paying attention to it and not doing anything.
Carlos would, I guess, wait around for the noonday appointments.
Isaac.
Vinshenzo would badger and coach Carlos the entire time on how to present himself in front of the woman.
The woman.
Isaac, what are you up to?
Obnoxiously.
Probably just gonna continue training workout stuff until we get ready to do something or leave.
Okay.
Nephis would ask Vin before he left, is there a room that, for music that isn't so, public?
The first room I took you to, Mr. Carlos. Or Mr. Nephis.
Oh, so we did go in that room. He's gonna go to that room and play with the piano. Chopsticks.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it really is just a nice room where you can go and just enjoy an instrument and not a place where you're stuck in sort of the public eye.
I wonder if anyone would be annoyed to see this stranger teaching himself how to play piano.
Well, the interesting thing is, you're male, and most of your companions, barring Khutula, are also male.
Yes, we're all bitches.
So, yeah, it's the equivalent of like the way
home.
The pussy
exactly,
squad.
like, oh fuck,
The gals.
Yes. My sister's
Oh my God.
sister or my brother's wife and his fucking like his friends from town have come back and they're all just like giggling in the solarium drinking tea. Like that's effectively the same kind of. I'm fucking busting my ass out here doing taxes and they're just sitting here fucking having Sherry Thursday.
Drinking
like, that is
mimosas.
the kind of. That's kind of what you guys are doing. You're having like that's kind of the thing because it's a bunch of. It's the boys, the men. They're just
The
playing
boys
their
are
music
playing again.
while we're attending to affairs of the state. Well,
Nephis
one
would
of
roll
those
performance.
okay.
Oh, he's just learning. 5.
5.
Ooh. Someone nearby kind of coughs politely as you're working your way through the keys. It's like from the other room, and aside from that, you don't really hear. Yeah, it's like one of the house staff is there, like.
Nephis plays a little bit quieter.
You are playing on an heirloom piano passed down from generation to generation. Do be careful.
Yeah. Slightly off key and it's a little bit jarring.
Doesn't understand. He doesn't need to slam the fucking keys.
Oh man.
It makes sound.
I imagine him trying to play like, old McDonald or something, and he's doing the old double key press and he's missing a key, so it's just
chopstick, yeah.
Yeah. Ding 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 ding. Anyways, enough.
Aw.
We're really hyper fixating on this whole piano deal, and I love it. Yeah. So, Khutula, what are you up to? Better tweak.
She is going to be exploring the estate idly because she doesn't really know what else to do.
Deadly.
Library. The Cairronas have an extensive library.
There's a lot of different services and shit. I can't like it's an extensive compound. It is basically a small town in size. There's a lot of things to do. If you ask, hey, can I do this? I will tell you where. They have a lot of stuff, and there's a dude who follows you around, telling ready to answer questions.
Yeah, but if she goes to read, that's all anyone's gonna want her to do.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm trying to, give you opportunities to
Mother,
do whatever you want
do we
to
have
do.
any vampire texts that Miss Khutula can study?
No. I already have advantage rolls.
Here's my friend who likes books. Could you show her some books?
Damn, those really do be books.
Miss Khutula, can you read every book in the Cairona library by tomorrow night? It's very important.
Jesus. Okay, so noon comes around, and you're down on the first floor or the main floor, where sort of that's the more public sort of place, and you sit in a formal meeting room with Lady Lady Undrill, the matriarch, and one of her magistrates whose name was introduced to you, but his name is on a piece of paper that I've lost, and I don't want to do that thing where I accidentally rename somebody and then go back to the old name. So we're going to call him Dave, just in case, but he does have a really cool name, and when I get my piece of paper, I'll update it somewhere and say this is officially the name of record.
The Dave holder.
Yeah, so for now, placeholder.
Dave.
In case I have to refer to him and I say Dave, it's the magistrate. And this one is specifically the house magistrate. So if I say the house magistrate and I give a name, it's this guy, just for the sake of it. Anyways.
Dave Cairona.
Dave Cairona. Crystal's first kid.
We don't talk about Dave.
Uh-huh. Anyway, yeah, so they sit down and meet with you.
Standing.
What I have no idea, but she is seated there, and you make your entrance, and you are announced by the. I don't know what they're called. It's not servant, but the person who like announces you and opens the doors and shit like that. Like that guy opens the door and says, you know, presenting Baron Vinshenzo Cairona and Duke Carlos Santiago of Nancon. You know, for Lady Andril.
Standing. Yeah, Carlos would hold himself in whatever manner Vin described ad nauseum. Yeah, until it was time for him to speak.
My lady, I bring before you Mr. Carlos. He is a member of... He has some noble blood in him as well. And himself, as well as his family, I'm sure, has suffered a great deal recently due to some company, or rather, that Carlos can elaborate on further.
All right.
I was hoping that maybe our family could assist his in some way, and perhaps some sort of diplomacy could be conducted and be a beneficial relationship for our family.
Lady Andril motions to the chairs at the table for you. I will make it an important note that you are not sitting yet because you must be offered a seat.
Yes.
You're aware of this, so she formally offers you a seat, which means she's accepted officially accepted the meeting. After you've both been seated, and of course provided with refreshment because we're fancy here. She asks you to go over the particulars of the this company that has been causing your family issues, Carlos.
My lady, it is a tragic tale. It originated in the kingdom of Rogeron, in the capital of Chilnu. I was driven out of my home by the Valeriano Shipping and Trade Company, headed by Mr. Tristan Valeriano. I do not know what happened to my friends and family there. I was the only one to escape. All of what I had was taken from me there. I do not even know if anyone else survived. And now he has been hounding me ever since I made my escape. I've been traveling east. I went through Virimum, Eva. I went through Tarvia briefly. And I found my way to Nisia, which is where I came into the company of Baron Vinshenzo here. And for a while, I thought that maybe I had evaded them, but it was discovered that this trading company, they were in league with the vampires in Nisia, and as we learned later, briefly before arriving here, vampires have taken over Nisia in the open now. But ever since then, we've been hounded by them, my whole group, and that brings me shame to have put them in danger. All across the West Marches, they chased us until we managed to escape far enough away to move ahead of them in their ceaseless pursuit. And now I find myself here before you, pleading for your assistance.
Lady Andril turns her head and mutters something into the ear of one of her attendants,
Oh,
who's kind of...
can I say something?
Yes.
Can I have given Carlos bardic inspiration from coaching him how to present himself to the good lady?
Yes.
Retroactively. I'm sorry to bring that up now.
That's fine. I'm not going to get you to roll for anything yet. Don't take that as a cue that you'll need to roll yet. So she mutters something into the ear of one of the attendants. The attendant bows and exits the door behind Lady Andril, and she begins asking Carlos about any possessions or land he has holdings in. What sort of, basically asking. I'm going to say it blunt, but she's being fancy just because I can't think of how to say it right now. But she's bluntly asking what you have to put on the table as an offer.
Oh, like what do I have currently?
Yeah,
basically?
like she's asking about the holdings and assets of the family, what essentially inquiring as to details of this proposition or diplomacy, kind of what are you looking for? What are you willing to offer? What do you got?
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, lady, my original holdings have been lost, but I have managed to acquire new ones since then. I am a recognized Duke of Osterbrook, and I am in possession of a castle and several villages in that area of what was this country's name? Nancon?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Aurelia.
Yeah. In the province of Osterbrook and Aurelius. I do have some holdings there, and he would produce any documents he would need to, because he has a few.
This is just kind of introductory chit chat at this point. She's not looking for if you have them in order, that's really cool if you're producing that, but there's nobody who's like asking you for proof yet, if that's what Carlos is reacting on.
My good lady, as Carlos mentioned, Mr. Carlos mentioned, his family was driven off, and perhaps even now, in disarray and without title, if we could reform their claims, wouldn't you agree that they would wouldn't you agree that they would owe us a great debt in return?
So your story last night that you told, did it involve talking about what happened at Nancon and all of the cool stuff that happened?
Oh yeah, Vin would.
Yeah,
that was my big moment.
It's your huge moment, and you talked about all this cool stuff. How you're the Baron, and Carlos, he's a Duke under you, and all these other people are knighted under you.
Yes.
Okay. So, after you're finished talking about sort of your family and, given the story, answering her question, she taps her fingers gently on the table and exercises quite a, what is this?
I was tapping my finger on the table.
I see. Hi, I like it. And she looks at Carlos and she says, Duke, you Duke under the Baron Vinshenzo Cairona, is correct?
That is correct, my lady.
Oh my.
And the Baron Vinshenzo Cairona serves me. Therefore, you serve me.
That makes sense to me, my lady.
Therefore, your lands are in fact mine, and not yours to offer.
Carlos would glance at Vinshenzo.
With your glance, she chuckles, but it's like one of those tutting chuckles. And she says, not to worry, I understand your plight. And almost as if on cue, another drow enters the room from the same door that the attendant had disappeared from. And she motions absent-mindedly, without even turning her head, for him to sit. And she says, this is an equerry. Who are you? And without even listening or waiting for him to say his name. Anyways, he tracks various crime within the walls of this great city. And several months ago, a trading company that had established a new warehouse had the misfortunate idea that they would try and bribe some warehouse guards that were already being paid by myself. So naturally, after I slit their throats, I found out who their employer was. He was Tristan Valeriano. He has done me a slight, and I would like to do a slight unto him.
My good lady, it is less of a matter of what Mr. Carlos can produce for you now and more of a long-term diplomatic move, I believe. I do hope you are not being short-sighted here.
Oh.
My dear Vinshenzo, how quaint you are. I don't intend to disregard your friend, Duke Santiago. I intend to use him. He will be my tool to remind this Valeriano that he's made one move too far. Can play with the overwhelms, but this place is mine. And him trying to bribe my guards is a disrespect unto me, therefore an offense to House Cairona. And that cannot be excused. And she looks, her entire tone shifts and she looks sharply at you, Carlos. You shall be instrumental in dealing with this matter yourself, and of course, Vinshenzo, you shall be his counterpart in this endeavor. You shall go and find this Tristan, bring me his head. Heads of any other of his associates that choose to fear him more than they fear me.
My good lady, beheading simple warehouse workers certainly won't.
No, she's not talking about. No, she wants you to go and find Tristan and bring Tristan's head to her, because he tried to butt in. Like he basically he fucked around, and now she's asking you to help him find out.
Oh, my lady, that is an unexpected request, but I do believe it would solve both of our issues.
And she doesn't acknowledge this statement. She looks at Vinshenzo and she says, I look forward to meeting with the other members of your entourage. Shall we schedule some more, or are you pressed for time? Amathray said something about you wanting to visit your father.
Yes, it is. As you may have heard last night, Mr. Carlos here is under some sort of magic that has changed his form. When I met him, he looked nothing like this, you understand.
Well, if you do intend to be off soon, please give my regards to Matriarch Della for me.
Of course, my good lady.
And at that, she gives you the gesture too. We're done. And she turns to the magistrate of the house and begins asking him about the next appointment.
I leave.
Yeah.
I jump up from my chair as soon as she does that. Okay, I'm going. Outside the door, Vin would like lean up against the wall and be like, "Oh my god."
Shit, fuck.
Timora, bless me. I insulted the matriarch.
Carlos would kind of look at him strange and be like, I don't I don't know much about your culture here, but she didn't seem too offended.
Yeah.
She more seemed amusing.
Well, it was a bit of a slight at her, and you now know how she handles slights against her. I hope you appreciate the gesture, Mr. Carlos.
I suppose you are lucky that she finds both of us indispensable at the moment, and that you're also of her house.
Yes.
I imagine we will receive some kind of resources in order to help track down Tristan.
Certainly, if the good lady wants something done, it will get done.
Good, because if it was a simple matter of just doing this, I would have done it a long time ago.
So Vin, I'll give you this hint as to sort of the workings of how this house functions. Basically, she's the decision maker, and she's like, the big picture girl.
Yes.
Right? She leads the house. Something so insignificant as to haggle over the details of what things you might need at what times, and dollar figures, that is entirely below anything she's interested in. So you've asked, she will provide. She doesn't need to tell you anything. She's gonna go, like, her word's been done, enough people heard it, shit's gonna happen. So you're aware of the fact that even though she didn't say, like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this for you, she's made a decision. For that, in that sense, like, you're aware that it's not a mystery. Somebody's gonna come and give you, like, more information, just because you've seen it happen and you've been subjected to this before. Yeah. So as a member of the House Cairona, you've been involved in the sort of chain link fence that is the results of her decision making. Anyway, yeah. So you get that. Effectively, you're going to be given some information based on, like, the interactions they've had. So basically, you're going to get a lot of case file information, like the police reports, those kinds of things like that, all the information pertaining to what happened here in this city. And then they're going to be asking you questions of, where is he? What does he want? How does he operate? You're going to be giving them information because they don't have a lot. They have stuff, but you guys have been up in the world. So they're going to ask you eventually at some point, like, hey, what does he have? What do you need? Where is he? Kind of stuff like that. Yeah, anyways, cool.
Cool. I like it.
this is up to at your point. Sorry, I guess this is kind of pertinent information. Vin, you're aware that your family's sort of ancestral home, the main home, is in the ceiling district, of which I wrote somewhere, as usual. But it's in the ceiling district towards sort of the lower end, the Underdark gate.
It's like a beautiful chandelier.
Yeah, so you're like basically farther down into the Underdark, where the light is a lot dimmer, and a little bit more towards the more wondrous side, I guess. It doesn't take an inconsequential amount of time to get there. However, it will take part of a day, a third of the day kind of thing will be to traveling there. So it's up to you guys how you want to spend your time here and do whatever, but this is, at this point in time, there's no immediate call for you to do anything. You're the movers and shakers now.
Let's fix this lizard.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Perhaps my father could turn you into a drow.
I believe that would be a step too far, Finn.
If you say so.
Please,
didn't
Ben,
say
no
that.
more dark humor.
If I'm going to be changing anything, it's going to be my original form.
Hell yeah.
So did Vin want them to leave now, tomorrow, after the rest of the group meets with the lady?
It would be best if the lady's wishes were met before we left.
So basically, what the lady wants to do, and this does not have to be played out in character if desired, but essentially she's looking to get a briefing on. She's going to ask each of the members of the party questions about the overworld and where they come from and what they do. It's essentially like,
Information gathering.
yeah, that's exactly it. You are sources of information that'll tell her about a place that is becoming more relevant to her. And as she learns more, she will ask more about specific organizations and places that you're attached to, and things like that. So she's going to be questioning you guys for information, and it will be like, a few hours long, with people taking notes and other people asking questions as they see fit, other officials and members of the house.
I would give bardic inspiration to each of the members before their meeting.
I'm explaining that in the grand picture of things. If you want to knock that out first and then just go to the dad, that's cool. I'm just giving you the short end of that entire process.
Hell yeah.
So in that regard, just take that into account when you're planning out how you want to go about things. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's not a 10-minute hello chit chat. It's a little bit more longer than that.
Hell yeah.
Nephis would chat with the lady, I guess.
Sorry, the reason for me saying that is because it's up to you guys to plan what your next step is. and that's just information that'll help you figure out how long that takes.
Well, if we have to talk to the main bitch, that'd be good to do first.
Yeah, this is
Wow.
Carlos's flight, so that's pretty much the stuff that he would know about.
The what?
That's the path he took when he was escaping from Tristan. So
Oh,
those are the
cool.
places that he went through.
Oh, that's very
cool.
useful.
I like that.
It's like a
so
big
I
ol'
assume we're just
skid
gonna
mark.
Yeah.
we'll muddle through the debriefing stuff first.
Sorry.
Okay, so Carlos, you're going to be asked questions. Well, just because I have it sitting right in front of me, I'll go through first. So you're going to be asked all about the Kingdom of Rotharan. You're going to be asked about Tarvia. You'll be asked about your noble house and details about that and all these kinds of things. You'll be asked at this point in time in more detail about, the Valeriano Trading Company and Tristan himself. And then I don't know if you reveal anything about like the Thieves Guild or any of the shit that happened. I assume that because that was part of Vinshenzo's story, I'm guessing.
Would Vin mention that stuff?
Vin probably would have like glossed over like all the like shady shit we did.
Ah, okay.
Okay, well, they're going to ask questions about that. And when I'm saying they, I'm not just talking about like, it's not just Lady Andril, or her husband's not even there for that, but it's Lady Andril. There's like some generals, there's equerries. These guys are like, basically you're getting the full Pentagon debrief kind of thing, where everybody's taking notes and asking questions pertinent to their specific field. There's advisors who are asking questions about like, from what you recall, what are the major exports and imports of the trading company? How does the Kingdom of Tarvia react in diplomacy to the other human? These are the kind of questions they're asking you
Fucking
in different places. Like they're trying to get as much info as they can on as many different aspects. This is why each interrogation takes hours. I say interrogation casually.
Interview.
Debrief. I think sounds very CIA. So your debrief is why it takes hours.
CIA.
Nephis gets asked questions about Tarvia and the Navy and military actions and his service and the similar sort of thing, except a lot more, again, professional context. What's your job as a sailor? What kind of duties? How does this impact? That kind of stuff. And even if your answers aren't, I didn't really do that, they still ask a bunch of these things so that they get the range of what you know. They ask about your time in the West Marches. They ask about how dangerous the woods are. Those kinds of things. Anyway, yeah. And then Vinshenzo, you don't get a meeting.
Aww.
You don't get a debrief. Khutula and Isaac, you guys are the mysteries to them because you don't really say a whole lot, but they ask questions, and whether or not you reveal your backgrounds or whether or not your backgrounds never really got touched on aside from Isaac. You're asked a bunch of wilderness questions and stuff about like the local region around the gate, because they know from what their experience is being in this area, but they don't really know much more than what's outside the mountains. Or sorry, much more about what's outside the mountains. So they ask you about that kind of stuff.
They don't,
Anyways,
but they
that's
have
your...
like diplomatic relationships as far as Nancon.
Yeah, but you got to remember that the Drow as a society haven't really expanded into the overworld before.
Okay.
Or sorry, into the overworld at this point in time, right? So
Okay,
even though
fair enough.
individuals are capable of traveling, this is like this is the head of the house and all of her officials asking for information on very like official stuff. Whether or not the companions or the other members of the party reveal what they've been asked to Vinshenzo is up to them, but no one from the room on the Cairona side is really talking to Vin about it unless he's like asking. I'm not being intentionally vague, but it's one of those like, it's not your business. Go play piano. Go entertain your guests. We're doing work here. Because it's all the big head honcho women. And I will tell you, all of these panels, like all of the people in these panels, they're all female.
Ooh la la.
Yes, and they take their time. They are very patient with Nephis and Isaac and Carlos. But Khutula, you're getting it like to the point. They're asking you questions, and
why aren't you the head of the bear?
Well, they're treating you. It is really like the inverse of like if you ever watch people in those kinds of meetings, like whenever you watch a man in human society asking questions of a woman versus another man, you're getting that treatment.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting the like, come on, she's got to know stuff. Look at her. She's probably like, whatever. They're more harshly critical of you and a little bit more.
She's probably been manipulating the whole time. Like you're really in charge, right? You're just letting them think they're in charge.
I'm drawing some very heavy inspiration off of the sort of the nobility, the structure of the nobility around, in terms of the just their culture around like colonial British era aristocracy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're all sort of, it is medieval times for technological reasons, but culturally, socially, like that kind of TV show-esque sort of high pomp and circumstance British people is what the Drow nobility are in terms of their way they are doing things. That's kind of the inspiration I'm drawing on. So if you think about that and how you're being treated, that's what it is.
Would Khutula have her robotic marmot with her during the meeting?
Oh yeah, your fucking marmot.
It was a Martin.
Yeah, the Martin. Sorry,
the Martin.
Your marmot.
The marmot.
Marty, the mechanical Martin.
Okay, so you all do your super debrief, and there you go. So your plan is now what?
Have we like been given any direction on like, or has Carlos like been given any like, oh, you must do this now?
No, not at this stage. They haven't given that. Remember that you're not, well,
That's
while
fine.
you guys feel as, no, I'm gonna point this out. So while you guys feel you're here on a mission, to them you've come home, so they don't have pressing time limit to get stuff done, right? You're back now. There's no hurry, there's no reason to hurry off. For them, there's no reason. You can just stay longer. It's done when it's done. But you guys have come here for a reason, so I understand where you're sitting there thinking, okay, we got to do the next step, but they're not operating in that. They're going to form a subcommittee and do a thing, and military is going to figure something out, and the intelligence guys are going to come up with a working, it's that kind of thing. That's what they're playing at.
Hell yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of pausing and trying to push you guys to make your own plan, because if you want to follow this scheme, we're going to be going slow, because they're going slow. They don't see why they need to pick up the speed. Just kind of, yeah. So
Let's fix Carlos.
yeah, I've been hearing that. I've just been waiting for somebody to confidently say, yes, we're all going now to this place, please.
Finn
Yes,
would,
we're all going now to this place, please.
Finn would
Now that all the
go-
debriefs are done, yeah.
Well,
Finn would promise
Either-
his wife that he would be back in a day or two,
okay.
probably.
If it's on the ceiling, we can just jump off and get back quicker.
Yeah, I have Featherfall. Let's fucking go.
Woohoo!
No joke, that is possible.
That'd
I
be
mean,
awesome.
the concept of like there is a place where you could probably find that you could jump off and fall with your feather fall. Yeah, you could do that.
It's like a
What is
beautiful
the-
chandelier.
What is the carrying capacity of Featherfall?
I didn't say he could. Look.
I can cast it on a bunch of people.
You
I
have
think.
the free
Oh.
will to do that. Is more my point.
Up to 5 falling creatures in range. Boom.
Hey, that's all of us.
Pretty funny. Okay. I know we faffed about kind of doing this whole thing for 3 hours, but that is now 10 o'clock. We didn't really faff about it. I think that was fun. I think we had a good time. I had a good time. I hope you guys had a good time. It was a little bit slower, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this session. But yeah, so the next week we will go to the next one or not next one, the next place. We'll see if we can fix Carlos, bring him back to his real body so he can be a real boy.
The Vinshenzo sleepover.
Vinshenzo sleepover. And then carry on whatever the next step is. But we seem to be going one step at a time, which is totally cool. So I'll plan for that next step.
I'm fine
And
with
yeah.
the Helvani side of things being done entirely in text. Just to like speed up so like the next 3 sessions aren't all my family.
I'm also happy doing that as well. I have a fairly loose week, so I'll try and be more prompt and less 3 a.m. about responding. And if anybody who wants to be, I'm just gonna kind of predict that that's gonna be Carlos and Nephis as major players, because you guys are, the 3 of you are the most invested in the Carlos body transmorgification subplot.
He looks
which
like
is
a
totally
freak.
which is totally cool.
Wow.
So yeah, we can work through that in IC. That is totally fine.
Copy that.
Yeah.
If Carlos like started out looking like that, it'd be okay. But now that he looks like that, it's not okay.
Wow, what the fuck?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just think of him as his brother Sebastian, who is always a kobold.
I
What?
was kind of
What?
hoping
Your dad
when-
fucked a kobold?
And it was a guy?
kind of hoping Carlos might accept the whole, we could transform you into a drow. I think that would be funny to have drow Carlos.
Don't you want to become the greatest form of...
Vin would love that so much.
Vin would finally have a friend of his own kind for the first time in his whole life.
Now, Carlos, if you're gonna pass as a real drow, I'm gonna have to spin you up on drow culture.
Hell yeah.
Let's explore every aspect of high society in painstaking detail. Come, let me take you on this adventure.
I'm kind of curious about the drow wilderness, though.
Ooh, maybe.
Nephis is gonna get lost in the mushroom forest.
Bulukap. We're rich.
It was definitely not mentioned for no reason. Anyway, yeah, that's what I got. I have to do physiotherapy at like 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm not going to be up for too much longer. But that's about all I got for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah.
Chell says, Willard, yes, I hear you. See that? I acknowledge your statement.
Ah, yes, Mr. Nephis. If you follow me into the wilderness, I'll trim your armor.
It's a bit heavy. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll trade you 1 mil if you follow me into the wild.
Looking to buy RuneScape wife. All right, yeah, cool. I don't know.
They're looking to buy RuneScape husbands here.
Yeah, looking to buy RuneScape husbands.
Actually buying slavery.
I can't think of any way to like get the women to like badger Khutula.
Ow.
Couldn't think of a fun way to do that without it being like overly unnecessarily rude.
Why aren't you telling the men what to do?
Be mean to her.
It's fine to be unnecessarily rude when you're like in other cultures. Like
100%.
Stuff that's rude to you might be normal for them.
100%. But they
And
also
vice versa.
don't know her. They don't know anything about her or the group dynamic yet. So there's no opportunity to like put a jibe in because Khutula has been napping the whole time and has no opportunity to have been like shy girl around the big loud boys yet in front of them. Waiting.
She's
So-
just one of the boys.
You're like the reverse of that like metrosexual kid who always like paints his fingernails, except like in reverse weird drow form.
Finally, a girl that can be one of the boys.
Here, light my fire. Light my fart.
Like a soft emotional woman who can get in touch with her feelings.
Yes.
And make a sandwich
And
with
make,
me.
And make sandwiches with me.
Vinebone.
Oh man, that really threw me off that it's a fucking incestuous couple. Two siblings. I really didn't read that in at all, and I was like, this is gonna be really funny. This is gonna be like an interesting drama that there's a baby
It
on the
is
way.
now.
Yeah, but it was a fucking like sham. What the hell is that guy called? ShamWow? No, M. Night Shyamalan
Yeah.
twist, and I didn't even expect it. Like I was like, what the fuck?
It's normal.
He was the director and he didn't even know.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got a baby. What do you mean her husband's her brother? Shit. Well, it's in the script.
normal.
We gotta go with it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
mean, it was it was probably gonna happen.
Unironically,
What else were they gonna do? They were married.
Oh, Devon, can I
completely
have another one of
unironically, in the
these
small town I
things?
live in, there are two cousins that are dating, and the female is pregnant.
Jesus.
How did
Yeah.
that happen?
Oh,
Thank you.
the
Oh,
funny.
wait.
Well, it's not funny, but the strange
I
thing
didn't.
is
I'm sorry.
they're not really sure whose it is,
I didn't know we had one.
but it could be her cousins. And
My God.
this is the size of the town I live in.
That's awesome.
It's an
Yeah.
experience.
And there was something like that when I was growing up. There's this island off the coast of Maine where it was part of our school district, so all the kids from there would like take the ferry and like come to school on the mainland with us. And a lot of that's just how islands are.
Mm-hmm. There's not enough people around. Sooner or later, everyone's family.
I don't know. I just play Game Boy.
At least you'd never have to worry about introducing your wife to the family.
Hell yeah.
Ah, yes, I was the right cousin to choose.
Oh man. Okay.
All right.
What is this doing here?
What? Pingas. I don't know. Somebody.
That's
Here.
nice.
It was like, oh, it was like over by the. It was over here by Nephis.
Who did
What
that?
did I do?
What did I do?
What did I do?
Oh.
Oh. Look what you've done now. You've ruined it. Now we'll just have to live with it.
What happened in this?
Oh. Ow.
Okay, I'm done. Sorry, I'm done having fun. It was fun.
Okay, I'm
All
sorry.
right. Thanks for the session.
Yeah. Thanks all for coming.
Was
Hey.
fun.
Chill. Your patience will be rewarded.
Mm-hmm. All right. Have a good night, y'all.
That was
Bye.
awesome.
There, Nate.
Later, everyone. Oh,
Oh.
there goes the server.
Shit, who did that?
Uh-oh, server reset.